Alrighty, everybody. Welcome on into the Central Committee stream with your host, Mike from PA. We are live once again. Welcome on in to the community. How is everybody doing today? Wow. What a day. Donald Trump outing himself as an Epstein-aligned pedophile, and MAGA is actually melting down over it. MAGA is actually melting down over it. Mike, we got hater. We have a hater. Oh, wait. Oh, this is fucking cool. Wait, hold on. Where? I'm so excited. I always get excited when we get one because I've yet to see one that's intelligent. Have we found an intelligent one yet? Mike, are you that was 6 years ago we did. That's it? In 2019, in the beginning of 2020. Is that it? That was like yesterday, though. That was like 4 days ago, guys. Okay, and all right, moving on. Mike, inflation is spiking even with reduced tariffs and negative economic growth. Stagflation is here. Yeah. I mean, it's not really that much, chat. Like, it looks, oh my God, okay, so Chrome really broke at the ad blockers. They really just removed them. Damn, they really did. Mike, thoughts on this? All right, hold on.
14 million Chinese students took the Gaokao this year, and the scores were just released this week. Let's see how Chinese people would judge you based on your Gaokao score. 这孩子还能要吗? Because scoring a 250 out of 750 is the equivalent of misspelling your name on the SAT. 您是去种地还是去工厂呢? Because with a score of 350, you're only eligible for vocational school. 至少是个大学. With a score of 450, you're at least able to get into an undergrad, but it's kind of like one of those state schools where your parents sure as hell ain't putting a bumper sticker on the car. 大学还得努力. 550 is by all means a decent Gaokao score, but it's also what most of your Chinese peers would have scored. You're strictly average, the college you go to is average, and the competition there is insane. 不是985, 但至少是个211. China's highest ranking universities are 39 universities called 985 universities. They are China's Ivy League, and below them are 100 universities called 211 universities. So scoring a 600 gets you into a 211 university, something like a UC Davis or UT Austin. 妈终于能放心了. Because with a score of 650, you're able to get into a 985 university, or China's Ivy League. Congrats, you're forever on a different level in Chinese society. 传说中的学生. These are the absolute goats. Because the Stanfords and Harvards of China literally show up at your house to convince you to go to their school. What do you think? Do you think judging people based on a score out of 750 is fair?
You wanted me to learn that they have Chinese SATs. Thank you. Thank you for that. They have tests in China. I am very edified. Thank you. Anyway, I don't know why I watched that chat. It's early. It's fucking early. I haven't booted up yet. So the Republicans are hiding the Epstein files. The Democrats did something right. They tried to get the Epstein files released and the Republicans voted it down. Oh, this is just an alt, guys. This is just somebody's alt, which it looks like they created so they could follow Bree Bun, Lee Cumsey Fox, and Amaranth. So this is their jerk alt, I guess. Like their Gooner alt. Who's Bree Bun? I don't know Bree Bun. Who's Bree Bun? Are they just like a streamer, or like it's like a normal streamer? Or are they like they seem like a normal person? There's nothing wrong with them. I'm not gonna comment more on this guy's taste, because you know what? I don't want to collaterally insult the streamers even a little bit, because that's not fair to them, right? It's not fair for me, a bigger streamer, to like bully other streamers. You know what I mean? In any way, even sideways. Anyway, let's see. Okay, yeah. So the MAGA meltdown over the Epstein file is happening. And honestly, chat, that should actually restore your faith in humanity. The fact that there is an Epstein meltdown, that should actually slightly restore your faith in humanity, just a little bit. Because it means that a significant portion of MAGA people are exactly what I said, just ignorant. Like when I talk about conservatism, there's basically two types of conservative: ignorant or an asshole. And I think the MAGA people that are mad that they're not asshole / evil, the people that are mad about the Epstein files, those are the ignorant people, right? And then the people that are trying to cover it up and they're trying to protect Trump, those are the evil sons of bitches. Now, some people are both, without a doubt, especially in MAGA. A lot of people are ignorant and evil. You're at least one of the two if you're a Republican. And so everybody mad about the Epstein files and yelling at Trump, they're just people that are fooled or stupid. And it doesn't mean they're going to become our allies or anything, but it does show you all of MAGA, at least, aren't pure fucking evil. They're just ignorant assholes, which is bad, but it's not the same. So it actually kind of restores my faith in humanity. It's a bit of a vibe shift. That's good. Ethan Klein's podcast. Oh, folks. Oh, my Lord. In general. Oh, guys, hold on. I shouldn't bring up my drafts on stream. That would probably be a mistake. Okay. But I have this draft. After over 6 months of crashing out and defaming Hassan, the H3 podcast is now 10,000 concurrent viewers smaller than Hasanabi's stream. This, after the month of July, was the lowest ever viewership for the H3 podcast. On YouTube alone, Hassan had 5 times the views. Now, I was wondering if you think this is, I'm posted, like, you think I should post, like, I wanted to make a bait post to, like, piss off Ethan Klein. This is like my it's going right on Instagram. It's going right on Instagram. Oh, don't show people that. Come on, Twitter. They're like, oh, you posted a draft. Would you like to immediately post another one? Come on. They're like, you posted one draft. Let's post more drafts. So there you go, chat. We should. Oh man, you know, like the thing. It's so fucking awesome to be me sometimes, chat. Like. My haters are so fucking stupid. Like, I know they're not, like, the thing about my haters is they're not even really trying to insult me. They're trying to create a character for their stream that has nothing to do with me. That's the thing that's fucking hilarious, is they're creating a character for their stream, but they know they're not actually insulting me because they know it's all bullshit. So that's it. So they're trying to create a character for their stream and then try to assign it to me. But then if you come to my stream for 5 minutes, you realize, oh, that wasn't accurate. And it's the same thing with Hassan. Somebody be like, Hassan's just a frat bro who's just grifting, blah, 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 blah. And then you go to Hassan's stream for 5 minutes, and then you're like, oh, he actually cares about this. He's knowledgeable. That's why their shit's failing. Because they're lying about people, and you just go on their streams for 5 minutes. You go on my stream, you go on Denim's stream, you go on Hassan's stream, you go on Caroline's stream, wherever, and then people are like, oh, the vibes are good. They're just talking about politics all the time, and that's it. And like, it doesn't affect us because it's not true, you know? It's like, but if you go on Destiny's stream, you will see a pseudo intellectual who's a bad person saying slurs. Like, we describe him accurately. Destiny going to talk to IDF soldiers and telling them not to document their war crimes. What a pathetic traitor. I mean, that's criminal. He should, like, if we had a functioning criminal justice system, he would be prosecuted for that. That's incitement to genocide and war crimes. Like, that is literally a crime. And he's called for genocide as well. If we had a functioning, like, international law system, he would be in jail. I'm not kidding. You'll see more N-words in chat than a 1950s KKK gathering. Yeah. Like many other debates, Destiny lost. The N-word debate, he lost that because he doesn't say it. He would just be saying it. Oh, man. There was a Reddit clip yesterday of Destiny watching Hassan and Asmongold back to back, and the difference was insane. Really? You want to link me it? It would be funny to react to that. It would be funny. Lots of YouGov questions released today. I summarized them in a Discord message to you. The big one is that they measured Zohran's favorability. Is already has the best net favorability of those measured. Oh, even right-wingers like his answer on staying in New York City. Of course. Guys, the vibes are shifting. We're winning. Like, I actually, exactly what I said is going to happen, happened. Like, it's crazy. I'm not talking about, like, just the election. But when I was before the election and I was, like, saying, listen, she's going to lose, but it's actually going to be, it's going to end up probably being good. And everybody was like, Mike going accelerationist. And it's like, it's not that I'm going accelerationist that I think this is always a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to make things worse. I think understanding how politics works at a deep level requires understanding, like, that there's factions within the parties, and different factions being discredited and losing in certain circumstances means other factions can grow. I don't care about the Democratic Party. I want to say this again. I am not a Democratic Party person. I am a humanity person. I am somebody who cares about policy. All right. If the Democratic Party is pushing bad policies, I don't care if they win or not. I only care. I'll be a Democrat if you can find me a Democrat pushing good policies. I'll be a fucking PSL member if the PSL is the one that can win and push good policies. I am a policy follower, not a party guy. I'm not a party hack. And people like, for example, since we mentioned him, Destiny, he's a wannabe party hack. Harry Sisson, that's a party hack. They work for the party as propagandists. They don't believe in anything. They're not trying to achieve any objective. I'm trying to achieve objectives. I have short-term, medium-term, and long-term objectives. My short-term is to take over the Democratic Party or start a new third party that supplants it. That's what I want us to do. Or you could call that medium-term, right? Short-term is I'm helping specific candidates and specific races, and I'm promoting specific types of political discourse in order to pursue those goals. And my long-term goal is communism, or excuse me, socialism. Socialism, excuse me. Your long-term goal is socialism. Excuse me. And so I misspoke there. Socialism. And so wrong. That's the decision Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took. And here's the thing. Kamala Harris is my enemy. Joe Biden is my enemy. Those guys, that centrist Democratic Party of Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, they're to me no different than a Republican. And you can see it right now. Zohran Mamdani won the Democratic primary and they're not endorsing him. I thought it was vote blue no matter who. I never want to hear vote blue no matter who. I never want to hear lesser of two evils ever again. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'll debate Sam Cedar again and show I was right. You were wrong. There's no way Zohran Mamdani wins if Kamala Harris is president. Kamala Harris comes and endorses Andrew Cuomo. You're a fucking deluded idiot if you think anything else happens. That 100% would have happened. And the thing is, because I was a politician, I know what the Democratic Party is really like inside, and they hate the left. They despise the left. They're contemptuous of the left because you're ruining their bag. There's an entire consultant class that gets rich off the donations that you send in. When you get an email and you send in a donation, there's an entire consultant class of people that are taking that money, that are designing the mail ads, that are designing the television ads. They're shooting television ads and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars per television spot. Those are people getting rich in the Democratic Party off of your donations. That is true. That's part of the reason why they're so mad at Zohran, because he's doing his shit on social media for cheap. They're using iPhones. They're using cheap handheld consumer grade cameras, and they are killing the paid media. And yeah, I'm sure they bought television ads and shit, but he grew from the power of social media. Now there's a weakness to that, chat. There is a weakness to stop tracking. There is a weakness to that as well, which is, did I say? Well, it stopped tracking when I said stop tracking. So, who knows? The AI is growing in strength. We're not going to get 400 people to go viral running for Congress. This is the one weakness of the grassroots money strat. We're not going to get 400 different candidates to go viral every year. It's just not happening. So we're going to need local organizations that grow. We're going to need federal matching funds. We're going to need national leaders like Zohran, like AOC to go around and campaign and fundraise for people. We need to build up systems that don't require the algo to go well. There's plenty of people that could be great Congress people that are not so great on social media. And it would be ridiculous to just be like, you have to be good on social media in order to be a congressperson. That's fucking crazy. And there's only so many people you and I could be aware of, right? And we don't want to run our political movement based on whoever goes viral the most gets all the money and everybody else gets nothing. That's dog shit. And that's the major weakness of our movement right now, is we have to take that virality, that national attention around these big singular figures and figure out how to create grassroots change off of that. And that's why DSA is so important. This is why I've continued to be a DSA supporter, and I never did the millennial, DSA is cringe, because I'm not a dumb bitch, and I'm not trying to be cool. I'm trying to affect political change, and I want my audience to be smart and not, I don't want you people to be like, oh, I'm worried about that not being cool, or DSA has some bad tendencies in it. And it's like, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Zohran Mamdani. All right, let's see who knows about Zohran Mamdani. Republicans 49% of them know who he is, but only 25% of Democrats. This is the Fox News propaganda has been spewed about Zohran 24/7. It's Zohran nonstop on Fox News, and therefore they immediately know who he is. Like, this is the same shit they do to AOC. And so look at that. That's crazy. 51% of Republicans know who Zohran Mamdani is, but only 25% of Democrats. That's, I mean, look at that. I mean, like, that's there you have it. That's the Fox News system right there. That's it. Pathetic. That's really interesting. DSA overall doing decent. One major weak spot is a lack of working class organizers. A lot of children fresh out of college. That's obviously couple things here. One, DSA is not intended to be an organization that perfectly represents the country. And anybody telling you that it is a dope. Like, they're actually an idiot. It never will. You know what also doesn't perfectly represent the country? The elite Democratic Party decision makers. You think that perfectly represents working class people in DC? Like, get your fucking shit together. That's not, that's also not a tenet of any kind of socialism, is that, oh, it has to perfectly represent the groups. No, it is a organization of the most advanced of the class. So necessarily it's going to have a lot more people that are, college educated or have space for organizing time. Like, duh, of course. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't try to organize more people. We absolutely should. But this kind of self-consciousness is actually worthless. You are who you are. You do what you can. Stop flagellating yourself and going, oh, I'm not a non-college educated person. Oh God. Oh, it's whipping yourself, you fucking fetishist. Be who you are and do what you think is right. Stop worrying about like that kind of shit. It's garbage. Now, it doesn't mean we shouldn't be organizing the working class more. I'm just so tired of this self-flagellating shit. Chat, I watched the FD signifier video that you guys wanted me to watch off stream, and I have to say, I think it was pretty anachronistic. It felt like a video made in 2016. It felt like a video made by a Hillary Clinton supporter in 2016. I feel like it wasn't really very substantive. And I don't mean that to say that there isn't problems with white leftists like myself not understanding black issues. That's totally true. But that video in particular, I felt was not really well argued. And I don't really think that it's a fair representation, even of what FD thinks. I think it was one of those things where he was annoyed with people going, how come black people didn't vote for Zohran? And he kind of tossed it out there without much thought. I don't think it was like a real, I think it was more frustrated with white people making him the king of black people than it was like an actual video that we should respond to or consider a serious point. It was on B-sides. I would love to talk to him. I'm just not the person to do it, right? Like, I'm a very experienced organizer, and I've organized in Philadelphia and Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I know how machines actually work. And I feel like it's not something that I am not a person who's going to be the good voice of criticizing the way that, inner city Democratic Party machines work. That's just not, I'm not the guy who can do it. I mean, I can, but I will be tarred with, people will just rad lib out like crazy because they haven't done the organizing and they don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm not a member of those communities, so it's not really my place. But I think that if we are going to move as a movement forward, we're going to need people to be a little bit more honest about the corruption and the way that these inner city machines work, and that it's transactional and that there are patronage networks. It's not just that, white DSA people are, ignoring black issues. It is also that there is a tight-knit network of third spaces and community organizations that Democratic Party machines in the cities are well connected to. That is a source of their grassroots strength. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say that the Democratic Party machine is well connected to the black community in cities. Like, that's actually not a wrong thing to say. And it's going to be hard for the left to break into those communities, and it's going to be a process. And it doesn't mean the left is racist and doesn't care about black people. On the contrary, like, it means that we do. He mentioned Jim Clyburn's role as an establishment strength. Jim Clyburn is not the guy that's doing it. It's the system itself that Jim Clyburn is simply a representative of, which is urban city machines that have a close connection with black communities in their city. Like, that's what it is. And that's not just white leftist fault that exists. That's a system that has developed post-civil rights movement for decades. Okay? And these organizations get money from the machine. They get patronage networks from the machine. Like, it is a transactional material connection. It is not just a white leftists are, black people are cynical and don't think that universal programs can happen. They support the universal programs. They do. So it's not that. It's a way of taking agency and putting it in the hands of people that shouldn't have it. And sometimes, I actually think that a lot of these institutions are actually quite gettable, but they're what you get after you win primaries. They're not something you're going to be able to win when you are an outsider. Like, you need to do what Zohran did, and Zohran made tremendous gains in the black community. I think it might, do we have the final racial breakdown after the ranked choice voting rounds?
6 years ago, BBC Panorama released a film called Is Labour Anti-Semitic, which was effectively the death knell for Jeremy Corbyn as leader of the Labour Party. 6 years on, that film is discredited. And in the wake of genocide, the people who for 4 years tormented and slanted and smeared Jeremy Corbyn as an anti-Semite stand exposed as being anything but the anti-racist campaigners they claimed to be.
Of course. I mean, this is what I've been saying for a long time, which is you can't, as the left, we cannot be precious over these false accusations of anti-Semitism or racism. We literally cannot be. Unlock me. Unlock me. You fucking thing. I raise my hand and I make this. When I raise my hand and I use one finger up, it causes my camera to track me. It's fucking annoying. All right. We can't be precious about being called anti-Semitic. We can't be precious about being called racist. If people want to call you anti-Semitic or racist, they're already lying. They're already bad faith right off the bat. Socialists have been at the forefront of anti-racism in this country since the beginning. All right. The American Communist Party had a black man as the VP candidate during the 40s. Okay, let's stop. Okay, let's fucking stop with this. It's nonsense. And the Democratic Party establishment is not anti-racist. Are you fucking kidding me? Joe Biden did mass incarceration. Joe Biden blocked busing. These are the people that did the racism systems, and you're claiming that we're racist? Get the fuck out of here. It's bad faith. It's garbage. Let's stop pretending that it's real. Doesn't mean that we don't care about black people or trans people or anti-Semitism. We shouldn't tolerate any kind of bigotry. But let's not be precious. It's time for us to stop being precious about this shit and pretending that it's real. It's not. Did you see the Corbyn's new party, which doesn't have a name, is pulling at the same amount as Labour? Keir Starmer is washed. Yes, I did in fact see that. And thank you for reminding me, because I had a tweet that had 10,000 likes specifically talking about that. I'm sorry, 7,000 likes. LMAO, oh my God, 19 hours ago. You should really follow me on other socials, chat. You'll get a lot of the analysis. When I'm offline but taking a shit, you'll get some good analysis updates. So this is the polling right now. A hypothetical Jeremy Corbyn party, 15%. Greens, 5%. Labor, 15%. Jeremy Corbyn's party, 15%. Conservative Party, 17%. Far-right Reform Party, 34%. Hey, would you look at that? It's the 34% of the country that's fascist. Every country, 34% of people are fascist. Or latent fascist. This is how it always is. It's always this number, 1/3 of people, man. I wonder what that is. You keep seeing this pattern over and over and over again. It always caps out at around this number. And as I said, Jeremy Corbyn should start a new party. From PA. Guys, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it. Of course I was. I've been saying this stuff for years. For absolute years. And so now that it's finally happening and it's working tremendously well, it's LOL. Let's look at my Corbyn posts. The lesson of Bernie and Corbyn is to attack, never concede. These Zionist liars don't care about truth or good faith. They're there to throw shit on you. Never back down. Bernie and Corbyn should abandon moribund centrist parties that backstab them and start their own parties. Look, chat, November 6, 2024. Would you look at that? And you know what? They start to do it and it works. Isn't that amazing? It's almost like I'm the fucking best. You know what? You know what's very tough about being a political streamer is that I have to be held accountable for my takes. And when people like show me my takes and they're almost 100% accurate and I'm like a fucking seer and I'm constantly predicting exactly what's going to happen, it's actually making me have an ego. Like if I wasn't forced to be held accountable, I might not have such an ego, but Jesus Christ, I keep seeing my old takes and being forced to realize, damn, I'm right. Holy shit, I'm right. You're a pussy, 99% of the male pop. Okay, we'll see. Bro, you're a fan of a guy who's scared to get his hair cut. You're a fan of a guy who's scared to get his hair cut. And a accused sexual assaulter in Tectone. Who are you kidding? Who are you fucking kidding? You have a multimillionaire who lives in filth because he's too embarrassed to meet a realtor to buy a nice house. Like, who are you kidding? Who are you fucking kidding? Who am I a fan of? Oh, it's not that hard to find out, man. Well, let's see here. You like to jerk off to Twitch streamers a lot, but you're an Asmongold fan. We got the ST Peach. I mean, you know, Samantha Secret, Strawberry Tabby, Omega Gooner. Have you ever had a girlfriend? Be fucking honest. Be for real. Be for real. Be for real. We know what you are. Be for real. Fucking incel. The roaches are on fire. Pink Sparkles, she tried to date Asmongold and like convince him to take showers, but she couldn't. Even for all the clout in the world, she couldn't do it. Morgue Pie. I mean, Morgue Pie is cool. These people are cool. You know, these are all cool, you know, community. But this is probably the same kind of guy who watches these women and then goes on Twitter and is like, sluts on Twitch are stealing viewers. It should be for gaming. Holy shit, this is so funny. I don't know. Who's Strawberry Tabby? I don't know this person. Damn, 600,000 followers. Holy shit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what's... Okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought it might be like a gaming streamer I never heard of. Anything else? Was there anything else from that guy? Did they quiet down? I love the female form. I've been pro streamers. I've been defending hot tub streamers for years. I've been saying if you don't like, it's no different than what you see on MTV 25 years ago when they would do like Spring Break Miami Dance Party. Or, you know, most rap videos are way more fucking risque. Like, who gives a shit? This is PG-13 shit. Who gives a shit? As long as they're not doing hardcore pornography, who gives a fuck? Especially now, because there's 18+ settings. There are, like, prevention of, thumbnails if you don't want that kind of content showing. Who gives a fuck? Do you think it affects me if there's a hot tub streamer? No. In fact, it probably helps. You want me to be honest? Titty streamers and hot tub streamers probably help me because the more people are using the website, the bigger the website gets, the more money it has, the more advertising it could do to attract more viewers. And so because Twitch is making more money off titty streamers, they can spread their brand more. And then people who like politics will come watch me. The titty streamers are not in competition with me. If you want to watch a titty streamer, you'll go watch a titty streamer. I'm a politics guy. Like they're not competition for me. All they're doing is building up the platform that I use. Who gives a shit? More titty streamers. If it builds the brand of Twitch, if it makes Twitch more profitable, if it brings more viewers to Twitch and more attention to Twitch, I mean, let's be honest. That's what happened with TikTok. TikTok had a bunch of people just doing like dances, cute women doing dances. And that attracted a ton of people to TikTok. And then other people made other types of content. Who gives a shit? It's like, who cares? What if you want to see my tits while lurking about politics? You don't want to see these nipples. Okay? You don't want to see these nipples. And that's the thing. Oh, okay. So what else? Oh, he's still talking? Oh, this is fucking awesome. I have a great job. I'm on workman's comp. That means you're on welfare, you dumb fuck. That socialists literally got you workman's comp, you dumb fuck. Are you stupid? You're sucking off welfare teat, you dumb fuck. Back in the US, congressional politicians of that era had no desire to federalize workers' comp. The Socialist Labor Party of America was established in 1876 and declared its primary goal as the collectivization of the means of production and eradicating capitalism. By 1901, immigrants created the Socialist Party of America, which grew to 118,000 members by 1911. Many socialists were elected as mayors in 56 cities around the country, and their party had 320 newspapers that were socialist sympathizers. The SPA journal Appeal to Reason was selling 700,000 copies per week. Amid strikes and incidents of violent protests, the reformists created widespread fear of Bolshevism and anarchism spreading into the American labor movement. Employers in the early 20th century were still heavily shielded from worker lawsuits since it took an expensive, drawn-out litigation for worker to ever win in the tort system. But the populist sentiment began to grow with the literary muckrakers movement. In 1906, the most famous of those was Upton Sinclair's compelling book, The Jungle, which detailed horrific working conditions and exploited lives and poverty-stricken life of a Lithuanian immigrant in Chicago meatpacking plants. So this is literally socialists. Literally socialists created workman's comp, you dumb fuck. You know what used to happen, dummy? You know what used to happen, dummy? Where'd the dummy go? I might have closed this chat. Wait, it's still here. You know what happened before? You would get hurt at work and they would say, fuck you. Do you think that's a good system? Dumb fuck? You got hurt at work and they would just say, fuck you. You're fired. I worked for the benefit. Hey, dumb fuck. The benefit is a creation of law that socialists created. It's a socialist law, dumbass. You didn't work for shit. The government created it for you, you dumbass. And yes, you paid into the workers' comp system. That's how it's funded. But the system didn't exist. They used to just fire you. You uneducated dumb fuck. What, you think conservative rich people want to give you workman's comp to not work? You dumb fuck. Karl Marx is gay. Sounds like that sucked for them. Okay, man. Good luck with that. I could only explain to you so much. Yes, we used to live outside. Oh, oof, eesh. Hey, man, good luck with your welfare collection. Hopefully the company doctor doesn't say you have to go back to work while you're still hurt. Dumb fuck. You're actually too stupid. By the way, send me your name and address. I would like to know it. We can hang out. You and I, personally, one-on-one. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone else. Anyway, I just want to hang out. The reality is that guy is a perfect example of what Asmongold is for. Asmongold is for that guy. Never had a girlfriend. He's lower middle class, working man. He got hurt at work. He was protected by the left. The left saved his life. Without the left, he would be homeless. Workers' compensation is a program created by the left. So he's a welfare queen. Now, for him, he's offended by that because he's a racist. But that's actually the truth, man. You're a fucking welfare queen. You're welcome. Say thank you, you little bitch. Say thank you. Get on your knees. And 100%, the Republicans are trying to get rid of workers' comp or make it less generous or harder to get. And it's important to understand that this is a teaching moment for this guy. He doesn't really care about politics. It's more of like, this man is incredibly injured because he can't get a girlfriend. And he spends his whole day jerking off. And he's not very successful in life. And so he has to find targets or people that he feels safe bullying. Because like if you're injured at work and on workers' comp, you're not the fucking foreman. You're not the boss. You are at the bottom of the totem pole doing the shit work. And that's how you got hurt. And instead of being pissed at the man, he's such a cuck. You have to understand that there are people like this that are such followers and such cucks that to them, looking up and punching up is impossible to them. They're too scared. So they try to find people they think they're stronger than. That's why he came in here and tried to act like he was stronger than me. He tried to act like he's stronger than me. That's why he's here. He's trying to punch down because he's too cowardly to punch up, which is all I do every single fucking day, is knock people off their pedestal. He's scared. He's a peasant. Stop tracking. And that's the reality. Stop tracking. Unlock me. There you go, you dumb fuck. Anyway, he said 99% of men could snap you to half. I assume he's the other 1%. Oh, God, dude. At the end of the day, guys, like, there are people that are going to be what we call lumpen proletariat. Lumpen proletariat, which is and this is something that a lot of people get mad at you, but I believe in it. And these are people who are basically poor, but they've fully bought into the bourgeois sentiment. They are, you know, they are basically peasant brained, and they actually are reactionary because they fantasize about being one of their betters. Not everybody who's a worker is organizable. I'm with Mao Zedong. That proper leadership could utilize it. I completely agree. But I would say that lumpen proles are mostly reactionary. What's up, my dude? And that guy's a lumpen prole. So it's not like that they can't be organized. It's just that they mostly are reactionary unless there's good leadership. All right, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I was completely right about Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn is hypothetically starting a new party, and it's already right neck and neck with Labor. If they actually start it and start organizing, the Labor Party will collapse. And the same thing would happen in America. If Bernie Sanders and AOC started a new party, it would collapse the Democratic Party. Just the same way the Labor Party is collapsing. See, the thing is, what the fuck this guy gonna say to someone like Hassan, you know? It's so peasant-minded. It's like how they criticize AOC for being a bartender and then criticize Champagne Socialists as well. Well, the reality is that AOC has an economics degree from BU. You know, like, she's more educated than them. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, of course these guys are gonna attack her for being a woman because she's an attractive young woman. So, of course, they're psychosexually obsessed with her because she represents everything about them. She's more prestigious than them. She makes more money than them. She's more intelligent than them. And she's out of their league. Like, of course they're going to freak out and obsess. Like, it is what it is. And because they're misogynist, they can't really accept that a woman is just more, you know, achieved more in her, you know, first 20 years of life than they ever did. Serious question. Lenin really is important reading. He really is. I like Lenin because Lenin is extremely pragmatic. And that's what we need. And a lot of people who call themselves Marxist-Leninists don't seem to actually read Lenin. They have Marxist-Leninism of the type that the Soviet Union put out in the 80s and 70s. Or they have like old propaganda from like fighting with sock dems before World War II. They don't really take the lessons that Lenin teaches about being pragmatic and learn it. They look at specific positioning the USSR had in certain propaganda, and then they just adopt it like they're dogmatically. I really recommend Left-Wing Communism and Infantile Disorder. Another one is called On Authority. These are basically the reasons why I'm not an anarchist. This is from Engels. Like On Authority, Left-Wing Communism, and Infantile Disorder. These are like why I don't fuck with radlibs and ultras. Stated Revolution is a banger.
We will spread a revolution even if it means sacrificing Soviet power. We will destroy our own experiment, and we're more than happy to do that. Because if the Soviets get destroyed, inevitably more will rise up. 500 years of the NEP. 500 years of the NEP. I refuse to participate in elections and alliances whatsoever, even if for pragmatic reasons and temporary. We are gonna stay the fuck out of them. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah. All right, what were we saying? Oh yeah. What else are we talking about today? Ethan Klein's dying. Oh my god, Ethan Klein. Oh god. After over 6 straight months of crashing out and defaming Hassan, the H3 podcast is now 10,000 concurrent viewers smaller than Hassan the Hun stream. This after the month of July was the lowest ever viewership for the H3 podcast. On YouTube alone, Hassan had 5 times the views. Oh, the crash out starting. Whoa! 68 replies already. I have done such good propaganda. Like, oh man, I'm, gosh damn it. Oh, Nux is here. After 6 straight months of crashing out. Oh, so they saw this and they got mad. They got mad. That's why they replied. They're mad. They're fucking mad. So what? Doesn't make Hassan any more correct than H3. I love talking to the anime PFPs. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh no, they follow a VTuber who follows me. Oof. Oof, that's gotta hurt. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, that's so fucking awesome. Oh, dude, we got him so good. We got him so fucking good. They're so fucking mad. Holy shit. I know this is just me being a dumb fuck and not really talking about politics, but you know this is fucking funny, dude. You know this is fucking funny, dude. Projected subscribers for the H3 podcast. Oh no. You can see how it's falling. Like their hardcore are falling off. Like I'm not making it up. I'm not like propaganda. Like that's fact. There's literally a genocide happening in Gaza and all you could talk about is drama. One of the biggest propagandists for the genocide is dying out, and that's awesome. I love how they've made, like, this is, by the way, if I had to guess, I was gonna say this is a Destiny fan. Destiny Orbiter. Oh, there he is. Fuck, I love this dude. I'm having so much fun. How mad are they right now? Okay, who else is mad? Eventually, he's going to cease being a useful idiot lolcow for the Orbiters fans, and his viewership will crater. I was on an organic enjoyer of both till the shit started. Got real sick and tired of the way H3 pod community changed and unfollowed and muted on all forums. A Pepe avatar with a good take. A Pepe avatar with a good take. The vibes are fucking shifting. Hassan is not going to let you pound him, man. One of my favorite things is that these guys are they're such sex criminals. They're so fucking sexually obsessed with Hassan that every time you talk about politics or anything else, they just start talking about how much they want to have sex with Hassan or suck Hassan's dick, or that you want to suck his dick, or he wants to pound you in the ass, or you want to pound him in the ass. There's so much gay sex they constantly comment on. Like there's no other content creator or person that I could talk about where I'm going to get more sexually charged homoeroticism from his haters. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Oh, wait, clip?
Everything's fine. I don't know what to tell y'all. I mean, the views are obviously down by, I don't know, 20, 30% maybe, but like...
I'm fine, people.
We're still doing great, you know?
Wonder if by the way, that was 4 months ago. It's worse now. They're more down like 60%. I mean, by the way, this is not me just like making shit up, you know, like I'll show you my shit too. I'll be completely transparent, right? I don't have anything to hide. I am not the biggest creator in the world. I mean, I'm doing great and I'm growing and I'm trying to create my own thing, and I do really well on Twitch, and I'm just starting on YouTube and TikTok, and I'm trying to figure those platforms out. It's hard as a new creator. And there, he lost another 10K subs. Another 10K subs. I'm killing it here, right? This is my platform I've worked on for 6 years. I'm one of the top streamers in my niche. I mean, I'm loving life, right? Like, it is what it is. I mean, he's been negative subscribers, chat. He's been negative or 0 subscribers since October of 2023. And it's because he's a Zionist and he supports Israel's genocide. I mean, look at his monthly gained views. Like, look at that. Like June was 7 million, 7.6 million. This was his whole drama. The drama bump barely even got him back to where, like, when he had Hassan on his stream, he was getting 30 million views a month. Like, look, July 2023, 30 million views. Now he's down to 7 million. Like, this is the shit he's actively publishing on. And if you look at like Hasanabi on YouTube, I want to show you YouTube. I mean, it's the complete opposite. He gained 50,000 subscribers in June. You know, he's at 37 million views. He's now it's to the moon, man. I mean, like, if you go on TikTok, which is the platform for the young people, it's not Reddit anymore. Like, if you're a millennial or an elder millennial and you want to be like, oh, it's all about YouTube and Reddit, that's not the case, man. You're old. It's like being on Dig or something, or being on something awful. Like, you're dead. It's dead. It's like 4chan is dead. Like, that shit is still relevant. I'm not saying it's completely irrelevant, but it's nothing compared to TikTok. TikTok is where people are. TikTok is where people blow up, not Reddit. Reddit's done. And Hassan is popular on TikTok. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to show you something. Teddy Fresh TikTok. First of all, 64,000 followers on TikTok is fucking nothing. You guys are dead. That's probably more representative of the real size of his audience now. This is probably more representative of H3 now. Let's be completely honest. And if you look at their post, 5,000 view video.
I have a secret to tell you.
67 likes.
Jeremiah.
No comments allowed. Posted 13 hours ago. I mean, it's fucking over. 96 likes. 96 likes on 17,000 views. Here's one that kind of popped up. 150,000. No 250 likes. 250 likes. 150,000 views. That what? How do you have that many views? How the fuck do they have that? They must have paid for ads. It must be paid ads. If you go to my shit, I posted some dumb thing about Medicare for All that got 5,000 views.
Medicare for
It
All.
has 1,344 likes. 5,000 views, 1,344 likes. Like, that's crazy. I posted a video about ContraPoints, 30,000 views.
Yeah.
3,372 likes. Well, me with my phone making shitty TikToks like a fucking boomer, I get way more views, way more motion. You sound so different in TikTok. Yes, because this is this microphone, and that is like my phone microphone. And I also don't yell as much on TikTok. I just talk normally, whereas I'm always yelling when I'm talking on here for some reason. I need to calm down. I like really yell into the mic for Twitch. I'm going to war with the internet, and the internet won. And let's take a look at hey, listen. Maybe Mike, you're just jelly because you're falling off and you're irrelevant, and everybody is you just feed on drama. And it's like, before any of these fuckers were trying to take me out, I was at 2,000, and now like last month I was at average 4,000. This is a new month. And Hassan fucking streamed early, motherfucker. Last week he kept streaming early, so he knocked down my viewership by a couple hundred. Fucker. Fucking Hassan. No, I'm kidding. But as you can see, like, it's just everything is going great. When I started watching, you had 2K subs. Oh, that was a long time ago. 2K subs? Fuck. I don't know when's the last. That must have been like 5 years ago. I've had more than 4,000 subs, or more than 3,000, more than 4,000 for years and years and years. Anyway, I just wanted to have you all enjoy the reality that all of us are cooking, and deservedly so, because we were right. Oh, I broke 5,000 followers on TikTok. Look at that. Nice. That's pretty good. I'm putting more effort into TikTok chat. I'm trying to make at least 3 or 4 posts a week. Here's the TikTok. Make sure you follow that. My YouTube, we're finally reviving it. We're finally reviving this entire YouTube argument. We had a new video from ContraPoints. Unfortunately, hey, cooked 23,000 views. Pretty good. That's pretty good for my TikTok or my YouTube. So make sure you check this out. You hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. You should do a follow-up episode with This Is Revolution, guys. Yes, I should. You lowered it down. It ain't slowing down. Nice. I mean, I actually think this is the best video we've posted on our YouTube. The editing is peak. It almost doesn't even feel like a stream highlight. We have like good like fact checking that's in it. It's so good. It's so tight. The clickbait needs work. What we need to get better is algorithmically understanding how to use spaces like the description to get me into more people's algorithm. And the titling and the thumbnails are improving tremendously right now. So you should put more of your China commentary on there. That's a good point. I actually should. Anyway, Teddy Fresh is dying out, and they're pathetic fucking losers, and they're crashing out. Stop Hassan's HRT treatments. I'm sure his viewership will go down considerably. Do you cup his balls? Look how gay these guys are. Look how fucking gay these guys are. How many gallons of Hassan's DNA can be found in your stomach and rectum? These guys are fucking sexually fantasizing about Hassan all day. It's almost like he went for break for 2 weeks in July. I said June, you dumb fuck. I said June. Everyone knows the gay crush that Twitch's CEO has for Hassan. I talked about YouTube. His YouTube views are 5 times better. Post your numbers. My numbers are fucking killing it. What the fuck? This is a delusion that these guys have. They compare me to like Asmongold and Hassan. And they're like, you're nothing compared to Asmongold. Somebody who's been a big streamer for 10 fucking years. They're seething so hard. Doing tricks on it is crazy. Every single thing they post is about gay sex. Every single thing they post is about gay sex. Who's this?
Remember what I always say, chat. Drink the juicy breast milk. He chose my gamer girl.
No. They're so fucking mad. Holy shit, this is so fucking awesome, dude. Are you somehow making the argument that having more viewers makes your viewpoint argument right? Well, I mean, when you're botted to hell, like Tectone, for example. I wonder if Tectone will deny botting. What do you guys think? Do you think Tectone would deny botting? 1K sub Andy. I don't think Asmongold is bot. I honestly don't know about Asmongold botting. I'm sure that Tectone is botting. All right. I think Asmongold is just legitimately popular among the online right. I think he just really represents them well, which is he has no actual takes. He says based, and then he roots for like various cruelties happening to people he doesn't like. It's not really political. It's more like let's find targets to try to attack. How do you know Tectone has bots? Worst kept secret on Twitch. Worst kept secret on Twitch. Fired from OTK. When his last OTK event, when he came out, they played the Not Like Us song. I should bookmark this. OTK event Tectone. I'll never find it. I'll never find it. Seer.
Let me check here real quick. This like got 18,000 likes of completely defaming my name, of completely slandering me. Which, to be honest, is kind of hilarious. Yeah, guys, this is the new thing that I have to overcome. People.
Tectone, bro, you did it like you said you wanted to get involved with attacking left-wing political people. You wanted to defame people, make shit up, while you have active accusers.
Calling me for no reason whatsoever.
And your father is a sex criminal who was cashiered out of the military in disgrace for sexually assaulting his subordinates. And you brought him on your stream.
Let's look at the comments. Let's look at his follow-ups, which is he deleted the reply. Yeah, he did. Another one is I knew this would be a banger. Probably more like the Brony of rape. He just trying to be like his dad. I was going to say Bronny, but it's funnier to just say LeBron. Yeah, so this guy knows it's not true. He intentionally slandered me. And yeah, Mr. Beast did delete his reply. And a lot of people want me to be upset.
I think he gets to hand me... No. Look at his chat.
At Mr. Beast.
Look at his chat.
No, I don't care
his
at all.
His chat is fucking dead.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fine.
In the middle of talking about how he's being defamed, his chat doesn't move at all. You guys would be going fucking crazy.
I don't really know Mr. Beast. We played one game of chess back at Pog Champs 4. But yeah, I mean, if he doesn't want to coordinate with me for this event, that's totally cool with me. I never blame anybody for not wanting to do stuff with me, especially if I don't know them at a personal level. I don't really care. We had no rapport.
I've heard from reputable sources that his viewers aren't real people. I mean, he has all the hallmarks of a botted chatter. Like, he has all the hallmarks of bots. I mean, it is what it is, you know? And the thing is, like, Twitch doesn't really have an incentive to kind of, like, go after the people that bot. But you know who they are. They have way larger audiences than they should, and they get very few subscribers. Like, it's not that complicated. And they have way high follower counts as well. Botted follower counts is another thing people do. And you can tell when someone has a botted follower account when, you know, there's all of a sudden a really large rise of follows that suddenly accrue to their he always reaches peak viewership numbers in the first 20 minutes of his streams. That's not natural. Yeah, like if you look at somebody who's a real streamer who doesn't bot at all and has never been botted ever, you can see how viewership could operate. Like this, I got raided. See, like this spike right here, I got a raid. See how my viewership goes up to like a natural peak and then kind of it kind of falls off. That's just how it be. You know, that's how it be. Let's take a look at my followers. See? This is just the end of my stream. You could see the very end of my stream. I mean, I don't know. How is Hassan doing? Last 30 days, he's up 20% average viewers, 39,000. That's fucking huge. His hours watched are up 18%. Followers are up. He's got 27,000 followers gained. Peak viewers of 114,000. Follower count seems to be growing. Still above the best fit line. That's a side of a healthy stream. I don't know what else to say. Like, that's a very healthy stream. Oh, thank you so much. You're the best. Guys, look at this tech tone coming out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have
Tech tone. We don't really have much to say about him. He told me to hype him up, but...
And, ladies and gentlemen, our boy Dean coming in with the Blue Sox looking clean. How you feeling?
Feel good, baby.
Well, he's feeling real good.
Not like us. He was fired after this event. All right, that was fun. Holy shit, it's so great. Mike, this is how it feels. Liked and retweeted Mike's post. You are a king. Oh my god, I need to get a new browser. They killed ad block. What the fuck? This is what boomers see? This is what boomers see? Chrome, what did you do? Chrome is cooked. It's actually fucking cooked. I'm gonna have to switch browsers. I remember when I was a Firefox guy, and then I remember when Chrome came out and everybody's like, use Chrome. And then I used Chrome, and I've been using Chrome since. But this is the point where I have to actually change my browser. Fuck, I love the fact that they're so mad. I love that they're so mad. They're so fucking mad. Fucking shit. Oh, god damn, that's so awesome. Like, every time someone tries to insult me, they're just exposing themselves as being damn fucking mad, because I am chilling. I'm fucking chilling. They have two things they say to me, and they're both lies. That's the funny thing. Like, I could just tell the truth about Tectone and Asmongold, and they have to try to lie about me. That's the thing that's so fucking awesome. It's so relaxing. It's like when people are just spending their time lying about you, you know you're winning, and they can't help it. Holy shit. That's so fucking cool, man. Open presents, thanks for the 10 bomb.
Cuomo is not calling it quits. The former New York governor says he's staying in the race for New York City's mayor as an independent.
The fight to save our city isn't over. Only 13% of New Yorkers voted in the June primary. The general election is in November, and I am in it to win it. My opponent, Mr. Mamdani, offers slick slogans, but no real solutions.
Now, Cuomo lost the Democratic primary in June to Zohran Mamdani by 12 points. Now, also still in the race, New York's current mayor, Eric Adams, also running as a third-party candidate. So you basically have two established Democrats running as independents. What's it going to take for Mamdani to keep his momentum going? Bringing it back to the group chat. And before we started, Chuck, you actually cracked your knuckles on this one. You were so interested in talking about
no
this.
No more foreign policy. Let's talk about an election.
So what's the deal?
The deal is there's
wow, they have a Bernie crat on. They've got a Bernie crat on. Oh my God, it's a goddamn miracle.
General election in November where more people should show up to vote than in a primary. In a primary, you have a smaller group of folks. We all know that. I don't mean to talk so elementary this early in the morning, but there was a poll out yesterday that didn't surprise me where Mamdani had about 40% of the support. That means that 60% of New Yorkers would like to vote for somebody else. That sounds great for Mr. Cuomo. Here's the bad news, is that's going to be split up amongst, as you mentioned, at least 3 credible candidates, 2 for sure with the mayor that's currently there.
This is how it always, by the way, Chad, Mamdani is not known. I know a lot of people are like, they have a hard time believing it because they're political Andes. But for regular people, only 1/4 of Democrats have ever heard of Mamdani right now. Only 25% of Democrats have heard of him before, nationwide. So in New York, you could say it's probably double that. So half the people don't even really have an opinion of him yet. The knee is being bent. The Democratic Party in New York, a lot of the machine Democrats are going to bend the knee eventually, especially if Cuomo looks like he's not going to win. And I think a lot of radical, people who are in this campaign are going to feel weird seeing people bending the knee to Zohran and Zohran accepting their knee bend. A lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, he's accepting their knee bend because he's trying to win. He's going to be in power for 4 years. So he's going to accept their knee bend to get into office. And then how he acts from there is what tells you. And what was a clear signal to me that he's a movement politician is that he went to a DSA member sign-up event after winning the primary. And he recruited member number 10,000 of the New York City DSA. That shows you, that's what you need to be looking at. Is he turning away from his positions? Is he moderating his positions? Is he turning away from DSA? Is he turning away from calling himself a democratic socialist? And the answer is no. Accepting people who are bending the knee is called building an administration. That's how it works. That's what happens when you win. Now, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be vigilant. I like that people are vigilant. Be vigilant, but also understand what's going on and understand that it's called winning. Like if Bernie Sanders had won the primary, would you have wanted Hillary Clinton to bend the knee? I think it would have been a good idea to have Hillary Clinton bending the knee. It is what it is. It's better than her working overtime to try to defeat the guy. So when winning happens, they bend the knee to you. Like you're so used to us losing and then seeing progressives bend the knee to the right. You're not used to seeing the progressives win and the centrists bending the knee. They're bending the motherfucking knee. Enjoy it. Laugh at them. That's how you get fun out of it. Every time you see a centrist Democrat bending the knee, laugh at them and say, thank you for bending the knee. Instead of being like, I can't believe these people are bending the knee to me. This sucks. Like, what the fuck?
Cuomo, who was the governor. So the only way that they have a chance really to beat him is they have to consolidate. They need to have a meeting and be like, okay, let's all work together and have one of us run, or it's going to be really hard to beat him in November.
What kind of test is this for Mamdani and more importantly, like the coalition he represents?
Well, it's going to require him to go beyond the coalition that he won with that 13%. Andrew Cuomo is not wrong about that. He may be wrong about a host of other things, but he's not wrong about that. So it's going to require Mamdani to go beyond.
I would expect Mamdani to win 60-some% of, if all of them stay in campaign, I would expect him to win between 55 and 65% of the vote. Because Republicans are going to get, 10-15%. Eric Adams is going to get between 5 and 10%. He's the incumbent mayor. He's the incumbent mayor. That's a lot of money he controls. That's a lot of power he has. A lot of people are going to vote for an incumbent mayor. He's not going to go to zero. Okay. And then Cuomo, he's going to get probably 15 to 20% because there's just not a popular base for centrism. If the choice is between progressive leftism and centrism, and the Republicans are not allied with the centrists, there's just not enough people that agree with that. Work together to destroy Mamdani, the people who do nothing against Trump. Yeah, exactly. They're literally allying with Trump billionaires. That's how they're doing this, chat. This is how they're fighting back. Does a winner need 50%? No. It is a first past the post election in November.
Obviously, he'll be in D.C. He's going to be looking for more money so that they can do more things on social media and they can basically track a larger footprint. But I don't necessarily see him watering down his policies.
Well, why if you have two, why if you have two kind of establishment guys running on similar type things, you're nodding?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, that's what I was going to ask my friend Chucky here. Do you really think that the current mayor and Cuomo can come together? Because I agree with you 100%. I do think the establishment voters are going to come out during the general that they maybe didn't during the primary because they're nervous about Mamdani winning. But do you think the two egos can combine?
It's really hard. In politics, there's things that politicians really love, and normally that's themselves. And that's what...
Well, not only that, there's no way for them to unite because there's not a clear... Adams is not clearly stronger than Cuomo, and Cuomo is not clearly weaker than Adams. So they're both of them sitting there at 15%. You drop out and endorse me. No, you drop out and endorse me. They're too even.
The problem is with these meetings that normally don't happen, and I've been in lots of them.
Yeah, I was
where
about
if,
to say this meeting sounds like fanfic to me. Like
No,
they're going
I'm
to sit
saying.
down, and two egos are going to be like, no, I'll.
He was reading earlier.
There's one thing for sure, though, that there's no way anybody's going to beat Mondani, and he's running a good campaign. Like, we're not giving him credit for really doing something very special, and so, like, he's running a good campaign, and the only way to defeat him in November, ironically, I found out yesterday that a bunch of this is breaking news here at CNN, a bunch of Biden-Harris consultants are working for Cuomo. So they're still a little mad, and they're still losing every day. So I'm sure they're trying to figure out one way to spend more money.
Also on X, Dan Pfeiffer, former staffer for former President Obama, talking about this campaign ad that we saw and saying this is one of the least compelling campaign videos that I have ever seen. No message, no charisma, no compelling visuals, just a visibly annoyed man wearing an ill-fitting shirt saying things he clearly doesn't believe.
I agree with that.
Just like Harris and Biden. You just made my point for me.
Oof.
Like, it's the same group of folks making the same thing, and we expect different results. Please help me this early in the morning.
OMG.
You said it. Not me.
About the shirt, the visuals, what the message,
It's just
what
hit
part?
after hit after hit.
While Mondani is running up and down the streets of talking to folks.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's frankly just so apparent that Cuomo puts off such a huge sector of New Yorkers, and maybe that's why only 13% of people voted. And so I think
that's just how primaries operate. Primaries are low turnout events. It's very odd that this is like one of the highest turnout primaries they've ever had to be like, see, it's only 13. It's like, well, that's because the centrist Democrats like low turnout primaries. Then they lose a primary. Primaries are always low turnout. They always have been. It's an odd year. It's not the presidential primary. It's not like, you know, it is what it is. I'm sorry he got more votes than Eric Adams did in the general election last time 4 years ago. It wasn't low turnout. It was high turnout.
they really have to work on whether or not he is a likable candidate. Now, Eric Adams, he may not be a likable mayor, but people do like him. They find him funny, they find him engaging, and they never know what he's going to say. Cuomo doesn't have that effect, and so he has to figure out what it is that he can bring to the race that's not just kind of this elder statesman that feels out of touch.
The other thing is, do they find you useful? Meaning, in this Trump era, what can you do for the city? And I raise that because there are Republicans in New York City, there are independents, there are people who were so concerned about crime or immigration, et cetera, that we saw really surface in the last election.
And that's the Eric. I mean, I would say that they would vote for the current
They
mayor.
vote the general. That's the point I was trying to make earlier.
Yes.
It's only 13% in the general. They'll be double that for the general, and independents and Republicans could actually vote in the general election.
Is there anything, and I want to leave this with you, is there anything that you're going to see Mamdani do that other young Democrats are starting to do around the country? I was noticing a young Deja Fox. She's an activist in Arizona. But if you want to break through, has he created some kind of template?
There's two things you have to do really good, and even old Bernie Sanders back in the day kind of hit this. You got to have a really good field and actually still run a media program that's really based around social media and digital. Digital forward campaigns are the campaigns of the future. That's what the relics of the old Democratic Party needs to get used to.
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says he will continue his fight to be the next mayor of New York City following his shocking defeat to Zohran Mamdani in the Democratic primary just a few weeks ago.
Hello, I'm Andrew Cuomo. And unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know that the Democratic primary did not go the way I had hoped. The fight to save our city isn't over. Only 13% of New Yorkers voted in the June primary. The general election is in November, and I am in it to win it.
The former governor is now running in the general election as an...
By the way, chat, I want you to understand. So, this is another moment where you can see my political analysis is correct. I want to show you this because this is a moment where I will say shit and people will disagree with me. And so when I am proven profoundly correct, I want you to understand that this is something that I've been saying for a long time. Here's what I wrote in June. It's important to understand that when Zohran wins the nomination, all the centrist Democrats will immediately decamp the party and work to elect a Republican dino. They don't care about vote blue no matter who. It's about power. As I've said for years, neoliberals do not believe in vote blue no matter who. If you are a progressor who follows that mantra, you are a sucker. They are perfectly willing to withhold a vote from a progressive candidate, even if it means a Republican or sex criminal wins. even after his primary win. I'm more convinced than ever we need a dirty break for the Democratic Party. I mean, all these vote blue no matter who Democratic operatives are going to work overtime to defeat their own nominee. I've seen it so many times at this point. It's very funny to be a vote blue no matter who person when the result is California or New York level governance. When I used to say that vote blue no matter who only went one way, that progressives are never supported by the centrists when they win primaries, I didn't expect them to make it so explicit. It's almost like vote blue no matter who is a terrible strategy. Also, notice how it was last year I was talking about how dysfunctional states like California are. Now suddenly everybody's saying how dysfunctional Democratic states are. Abundance is stealing my fucking juice to try to make it and then reformulating it into defending neoliberalism again. Biden is electoral cyanide for the Democratic Party. He must be replaced before it's too late. He's not going to get numbers to shift 20 points in 10 months. It's not going to happen. Notice that Trump has numbers over 50% in almost every state. Uh-oh. That was January 31st, 2024. It looks like I was right. Unfortunately, they waited 7 more months to remove Biden. Biden is going to lose to Trump. If you support Biden's nomination by the Democratic Party, you are a Trump supporter. These are the plain facts. I'm tired of seeing people openly supporting Biden when their actual intent is to elect Trump. Just come out and say you want Trump. I just want you to understand that not only have I predicted it, I told you that it was going to happen. And so I want you to look at this screen. Andrew Cuomo announces formation of Fight and Deliver Party. And Kathy Hochul and Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand have not endorsed the Democratic nominee. If you ever hear somebody say vote blue no matter who, if you ever hear the phrase harm reduction again, you should unsubscribe from that person. I mean, there it is.
Independent and will be on the ballot line under his own Fight and Deliver party. If you take a look at this, though, at the top of the hour right now, as we're here,
but the most brilliant thing that Gunn did was Moravia, is Israel, obviously, and they're cartoonishly evil in the film. So no one who supports Israel can look at it and go, well, Moravia is supposed to be Israel, because they then would have to admit that what they are doing in real life is cartoonishly evil. It's such a brilliant, like, oh, Moravia made you think of Israel? What about it? What about what they were doing? No, tell. No, tell. No. Go ahead, tell me. The supervillain stuff? Is that what reminded you of them? Interesting. It's just comic book stuff, man. It's just
I am boiling with rage. Yesterday, I went with my son to watch the new Superman movie. Superman, the ultimate superhero, a character created by 2 Jewish immigrants. The actor playing Superman, Jewish. The studio's owned by Jews. What? Huh? What? Zionists just saying the anti-Semitic bullshit and then saying it's good. Also, Will Neff with the perfect analysis. Jesus Christ, dude. Holy fuck.
The people of Jarhampur are brown.
Look at my African American over here.
The people of Moravia are white. Okay, so this is why the left is reading this as Israel, the Palestinians. The reason it doesn't work that way is because we are not made aware that the people of Jarhampur are either wildly terrorism support.
Oh my God. Oh my God. There's more nuance to the Jarhampur conflict. Oh my God. Oh, I was joking when I said this. Oh my God. He literally says he does a Hasbro for Superman for a fictional Israel analog. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro. Bro, that is amazing.
Actually, this should make you realize something, chat. Everybody who defends Israel knows that Israel is doing wrong. They just like it. So, like, if you're like, how can people support Israel? The answer is they're evil. Because they watch a movie where there's a clear bad side, but they see white people doing the evil, and they go, well, white people get to do evil shit to brown people. That's their worldview, and that's why they defend Israel, because they're fucking fascist, racist scum, and they're evil, and they should be defeated.
Yeah, tweet like you're in Metropolis ass response. This is how you know it's a direct analog to Israel-Palestine. Oh, 100%.
The gun never jams. Jesus. I haven't even seen it yet.
Yes, and ultimately, I want to make Metropolis more affordable and rebuild all the damage done by supervillains. Will you visit Bravia, and does it have a right to exist?
Oh my God. Oh, that's such a good tweet. Or TikTok. Fuck. God damn it. I wish I hadn't seen that. Now I can't make my own version without stealing it. God damn it. Fuck. Oh, I need to like that. I need to retweet it or re-like it or repost it. That's what they do.
Yes, and ultimately, I want to make
so good.
Metropolis
God
more
damn it.
affordable and rebuild all the...
Son of a bitch.
Let's triple down on it, dude, because I've got ideas for woke DC, and I feed off of Fox News tiers. Batman Beyond Burger. Whole movie is about Batman taking on the villains of factory farming. No action at all. The middle-aged Filipino woman who plays Batman just goes around asking people to sign petitions. Flash is just a 3-hour drag storytelling brunch at a public playground where Flash occasionally shows his penis. The character of Robin is completely unchanged. Wonder Woman will take place at a wine night with a bunch of moms, and it will be called All Women Are Wonderful and All Men Are Bad. Aquaman will be this guy and Zohran Mamdani going around New York City to find the best sushi to give to homeless people with taxpayer money. All of those films will culminate in Batman vs. Superman Brokeback Mountain. Pump fake them by saying Batman and Superman will be white men again, and that'll be sweaty man-on-man action that shows everything. It'll definitely be Batman versus Superman because they fuck ugly. But it'll also be Batman with Superman as they learn to accept their homosexuality. If James Gunn is watching, let's work together to make the tanned leather on Kellyanne Conway's face start to peel off because the glue is melting from the heat of her anger.
That's pretty good. Although the penis showing at drag story time, bro, come on, man. We're just winning. We just can't stop fucking winning. And you and I were here and we were right. And so now it's time for us to step up to lead. I want Hassan to step up to lead as well. It's been fun streaming. It's been fun chilling and making content and just like living my life. But it's time that we step up. You know, it's time we step up and it's time we deploy these communities to something greater. Zohran came out of nowhere. He doesn't want to. Yeah, I know. He doesn't have to do this shit himself. He just has to prop up the people that want to do it. And I also found the district for Congress, chat. I found Congress's district. I found the person that she should... it's not actually... I don't know where Caroline lives. I don't know about that. What I'm saying is I know who she should primary. I've picked the person. Unlock me. Oh, I know exactly who it is. They are somebody who is a Zionist, but they're also broke. And they're a brand new congressperson and they have zero charisma. I have the perfect target. If she doesn't gonna do it, I'm gonna find someone else. This is gonna be my project, chat. I'm going to get somebody to primary this person. This person is going down. It's either Caroline or it's gonna be someone else. I'm gonna find someone to primary this person. So it's in LA, obviously. This is going to be hopefully the West Coast AOC, but if not, I'll find someone else. I would love for Hassan to run. For Congress. That would be so fucking based. He could just drop $500,000 into his campaign account and then instantly goes mega viral on everything. I actually think it would be kind of easy for him to win. It's not like Jank. Jank, I'm sorry, never had that much juice. Jank's fandom wasn't really a Jank fandom. He never had much juice. And he was never really connected with like DSA. Hasanabi will never be elected. Of course he could. Are you kidding me? If Hassan wanted to run for Congress, he could win. He could 100 win. Now, something like Senate, I don't know about that. Congress, yes. Mike, so I can't really, they're not ready for it yet. He would ruin our country with his terrorist apologia. Asmongold fan. Oh, you can't, dude, you have to post on your main. You can't post on an account you just created in this community. You gotta post on your main. I don't want you to come in here like a pussy with a 3-day-old account to call someone a terrorist. Like, you don't get to come in here and defame people with an alt. You have to come in here. If you're going to defame people, you got to do it on your main. And we're going to look into you with the same kind of good faith that you treat me and Hassan. So be prepared for that. Okay. If you want to come in here and chat Gotta come on your main, and then we're going to look into you with 1% of the good faith that you give us. Or sorry, with 100% of the good faith you give to us. First ever Congress run live stream where you interact with a candidate every day for 9 hours. I mean, he would probably have to cut down his streaming a bit. You know what I mean, chat? Like, he would probably have to cut down his streaming a bit, but he would still be able to stream hours every day. Like, it's not like he would, it's not like he would have to go away. Or maybe he could IRL stream some of his campaign events and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't even need to be much different. It's a politician. Okay, a politician can do, you know what they do most of their time doing? Calling donors for money. So AOC is able to do shit because she doesn't do that. She doesn't have to. So he wouldn't have to do that. So he would have way more time to do other shit. I would doubt he would ever want to. He could boost other good candidates. Yeah, that's what I want him to do. I want Hassan to boost more good candidates. But it's like a balance. You could only do it so many times. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to, so it's the only thing you do. You want to be like a news place. He'll never do it. Never say never. Never say never. I don't think he's ready yet, but eventually, once he gets, talk to me after he's been married for like 4 or 5 years. Eventually he's going to get married. He's still young, you know, he's still relatively young. Let me know when he gets married. Probably I'd give him like 5 to 10 years before he gets married. And then once he's married, it'll happen. Parasocial future sight Mike. I could already tell. Like, I could see people don't talk about politics this much if they don't have that dog in them a little bit. He's probably useful operating his platform full time. He shouldn't stop. That's my point. He shouldn't stop. He should keep using his same platform. Just be the politician that also has a huge platform. There's no reason that he can't do both. But I'm talking, this is innovation shit. This is stuff that nobody's done before in America. So, you know, like, people are going to be like off-put by me telling them to do something that hasn't been done before. But this is what I'm percolating. This is my percolations. This is my thoughts. We already have podcasters in serious positions. Yes, on the right. We need them on the left. Anonymous, thanks for the 10 gifties. Apparently, I've reached my monthly article limit. And I can't even remember what article I opened at New York Magazine. But okay. Hannibal Bros and Shiko Shikano, thank you. We're dangerously close to a hype train, chat. You think someone like Kat should be boosted? I have to talk to her. I keep forgetting to message her.
Even as this genocide has been ongoing and as the bodies of small children
Mabel
have
takes, thank you for the 5,
leading
man.
Figures in Labour Friends of Israel, Margaret Hodge, Louise Ellman, and Ruth Smeeth, now Baroness Anderson.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch this. Sorry. Wrong video.
Link replied to Cuomo's post has gotten more than 31 times the likes at the former governor's original post. It's subjecting Cuomo's launch to one of the most mortifying things in the age of social media politics, a ratio.
PowerPoint. Oh, this was
Nobody
really
wants
good,
that.
actually.
My political sources are here.
Apparently, Hassan
Former
started
communications
comparing
director for the Democratic National Committee, Karen Finney, and editor at the National Review, Ramesh Ponnuru. And it's great to have you both. Karen, what did you make of the 90-second video from the former governor today? And are you surprised he's staying in the race?
I'm not surprised he's staying in the race because we've been hearing that there are other interests in New York City who would like to see someone other than Eric Adams taking on Mamdani. So not surprised on that. Look, I think the issue, though, for Cuomo is going to be how is he going to run this race between now and the general? What I understand is he wasn't visible in the primary. People felt like there was too much of a air of, I got this, I'm going to walk in and run away with it. Does he do the work? Does that convince voters that he is the right candidate? And can Mamdani, I mean, he's did a great job in the primary, reaching out to voters, being creative, but now he's got to show that he could be mayor, that he could run one of the most complex, complicated cities in our country with a sprawling budget and try to bring some of those ideas to fruition.
Yeah, how are Republicans watching all this play out?
Well, Republicans they're conflicted as well, because on the one hand, they think Mamdani's good for the Republican Party, not just in New York, but nationally. On the other hand, they also genuinely believe Mamdani would be bad for the city and therefore would like to see somebody consolidate support and opposition for Mamdani, but that's just not happening right now, right? I mean, if Cuomo is running and the Republican Kurt Sliwa is running and Eric Adams is all running, it is vanishingly unlikely that any one of those three wins. and Mamdani has a pretty much golden ticket.
Which kind of surprises me when we look at House leadership here, House and Senate leadership for Democrats. Both of them are from New York. Neither have endorsed Zohran Mamdani. Not Hakeem Jeffries, not Chuck Schumer yet. Hakeem Jeffries is going to be meeting with him in Brooklyn later this week. He said that there are no plans to meet with Eric Adams or Andrew Cuomo right now. But what do you make of how that they've been on the sidelines after he had such a big defeat of Cuomo?
Well, he's not. He's someone who has, I think, very intentionally run outside of the party. So I think both from the perspective of his campaign and for these leaders, I expected that there would be a little bit of distance. I think it's good that they're going to have a meeting and then they'll decide where they want to be on this. I mean, to exactly what you just said, there's an awareness that Democratic Socialist title, right, is not the label people are looking for. But at the same point, he's been the leading candidate, and so they absolutely should meet with him and kind of kick the tires and see, in terms of his ideas and his ability to deliver.
Well, in his win, I think you saw a lot of pundits and political types watching and saying, this is proof that Democrats need to do X, Y, and Z, that you're not listening to the voters.
All I can say is, folks, Zohran is cooked. And by Zohran is cooked, I mean Cuomo is going to be cooked by Zohran. Zohran is not cooked, sorry. What I meant to say is this. I was laughing at this. Zohran cooked him. Stationary boom mic. Look at this stationary boom mic. Look. They say this guy is competent. So Andrew Cuomo posted that video. I'm in it to win it. Top reply. First of all, 4,000 likes. Zohran Mamdani, 156,000 likes for a contribute. And the important, here's what you need to realize, chat, is that Republicans understand that somebody like Andrew Cuomo is allied with the Republican right. The establishment Democrats know they're allied with Republicans. Okay, they know that. But the Democratic base voters don't know that. And Republican base voters don't know that. That's the problem the Uniparty has, is that when we expose the Uniparty and we offer a real candidate like Mamdani, the Uniparty fucking collapses because they're weak. They're weak. They can't actually deliver political votes when they're not inside these like artificially constructed red versus blue. When it actually becomes around real policy and the centrist Democrats ally with Trump, all their voters are like, and they don't have enough juice. It's fucking over. Do you think the Dems will learn from this? No, I do not. The question is, are you going to learn from this? Stop asking if the Democrats are going to learn from this and start asking, are you going to learn from it? Are you going to start demanding the best candidates instead of the lesser evil candidate? Are you going to start demanding progressivism and democratic socialism and Medicare for all and free college and peace in Palestine? Are you going to learn from it? That's who needs to learn. The Democratic Party are scum. You need to learn. You need to stop compromising. You need to stop giving in. You need to stop giving up. That's who needs to learn. You. I mean, I was cooking. I was fucking cooking. Like, legitimately, the problem that we have is that you guys are expecting the Democrats to learn. They're never going to learn unless you throw them the fuck out and replace them with people that agree with you. I'm never checking my email again. Holy shit. Bumblebees 123, thank you for the 5. Thank you for the banger donations and subs, everybody. New York production company seeking gentrifier / young white men. Tusk Strategies, in association with Bulldog Strategies and Allegory LLC, is looking for actors to fill the non-speaking role of gentrifier / young white men in a political relaunch ad for a top candidate in a nationally significant race. Set in the streets of Manhattan, the role will have this non-unionized actor interact personally with the candidate in a friendly manner, broadening the candidate's appeal to a younger demographic. This is the perfect centrist.
New Yorkers who voted for me, a sincere thank you.
I can't spell, chat. There you go. Zolation of centrist Democrat politics. Looking. Oh my God. New keyboard, chat. I have new switches. I would show it to you, but it's pretty nice. I I needed the numpad. I had a keyboard without a numpad for the longest time, but I need the numpad. I'm a fucking boomer. I need my number pad.
Thank you for believing in me and
all right, let's start laughing about the Republican Party's crash out. The Republican Party's crash out over the Jeffrey Epstein shit is fucking amazing.
How big of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big. I have to be honest.
How big of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big. I have to be honest.
Honestly, like, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is a fucking dumb piece of shit, fascist scumbag. But I actually think she understands Republican base better than almost all the other politicians on the right. Which sucks, because she is evil and stupid as fuck. But I think she understands her own base. She's good at being a Republican politician. And she had the funniest ad I've ever seen. I'm sorry, chat.
Marjorie.
Why the fuck is TYT the only place I could find this? But it's fine. Sorry, TYT. Thank you for posting this YouTube video. Man, you guys used to have good views. 467,000 views. Damn. The Young Turks used to cook back when they were progressive.
Every day.
How are they doing now? 9K.
Joe Biden abandoned Americans in Afghanistan, got 13 of our best soldiers killed, gave a kill list of Americans to the Taliban, and armed an Islamic terrorist nation with $83 billion in weapons like this one. Biden should be impeached. Now I'm doing a gun giveaway of my own, but for Americans only. I want you to win this .50 caliber rifle that Democrats will ban if they keep the House next year. While Joe Biden broke America's pledge to never leave a man behind, Nancy Pelosi is sneaking the Green New Deal into the $3.5 trillion budget. And in 2022, I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda.
I need to get a 50 cal. How much are 50 cals? I'd probably have to keep it in Nevada, right? I'd have to keep it in Nevada, right? Damn. 50 cal is a useless weapon?
About to get shot at with a 50 cal.
Oh, that guy's...
Can this glass stop a bullet? What about rifle rounds? What about... That's pretty. Look at that. It's got the back one. That's the one you like, right?
Yeah.
What in the world?
There's so much more light happening right now.
Because there's already cracks there, I guess it's easiest for that energy to go that way, and it just shoots straight down there before the main expansion catches up.
Like in movies and stuff, that's how fiber optic moves through things.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, I am ready.
God,
wow.
Wait. Okay, there we go. So the table said 3 shots within 120 millimeters. We are
a little bit wider.
We're even outside of that. And it stopped it.
Damn, that's some crazy. Look how many layers of bulletproof glass had to be there before it could stop the 50 cal, and it still put a big bulge on that. Holy shit! Look at that.
Could a 45-pound steel plate stop a bullet? I'm gonna shoot this plate with higher and higher caliber bullets all the way up to a 50 cal and see what it can stop. Starting out with a 22. Our 22 hit right here and just kind of bounced right off our plate. Fred's still safe. Next up, 9 mil. 9 mil just splattered right here, didn't do anything to our plate. Fred is untouched. Moving up to the 10 mil. Our 10 mil hit right here, put a little scratch in the plate, but it did not go through. Moving up to our revolver, shooting around a 44 Magnum. Our 44 Magnum hit.
I'm not an ammo sexual. I just think of guns as a tool, and I know how to use them. And I can appreciate how people can find them fun. I've had fun shooting from time to time, but I'm not an ammo sexual at all. This is unsafe. I mean, he's shooting from behind bulletproof cover. I don't know if you noticed that.
Right here, took a chunk out of the A, but did not go through the plate. Moving up to our Desert Eagle, shooting around a 50 AE. Desert Eagle hit right here. It pushed Fred back, but did not go through. Next up, we got our 12 gauge, shooting a slug. Firing. The 12 gauge slug hit right here. It just bounced right off our plate, but the force just knocked Fred to the ground. Next up, we got our Scar, shooting around a 7.62. Our Scar hit right here at the top of the plate, put a crack in the back of it, but it did not go all the way through. Fred is still hanging in there. Moving up to the 50 cal round, we got our friend Stinger here to fire it off. All right, the 50 cal blew through our plate, charred the outside of it, went straight through the other side, and put a hole into Fred.
The 50 cal is an anti-vehicle round. You know, like it's not a joke. No, when you see that, by the way, and you hear a 50 cal machine gun, that's what's being shot. Let's just say that is not good for you. Anyway, what were we doing? Oh yeah, we were watching Marjorie Taylor Greene. Wait, where the fuck did it go? Did I close it?
Every day
What the fuck? I might have searched. Anyway, the point is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hold on, let me show more Marjorie Taylor Greene ads. You can't, man. Google sucks, man. I fucking hate Google. Oh, here we go.
The Green New Deal into the $3.5 trillion budget. And in 2022, I'm going to blow away the Democrats' socialist agenda. Go to the website below and sign up to win my 50 caliber. Nancy Pelosi is sneaking the Green New Deal.
She understands the MAGA base. All right. It's dumb as fuck. Oh, explosion gun. She said socialist. But she understands what their base wants. That's why she's in Congress, even though she's got 80 IQ. She has the emotional intelligence to know what the base wants.
How big of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big, I have to be honest. It's just a red line that it crosses for many people. Jeffrey Epstein is literally the most well-known convicted pedophile in modern-day history. This is something that's been talked about by many people serving in the administration, myself, and many others on the right and the left, of there needing to be transparency of the rich and powerful elites that were in his circle while he was just one of the worst serial abusers of young women. It has been a very serious situation for the administration, and many people are speaking out online. You've seen it. You saw it at Turning Point Student Action Summit this weekend. And a lot of people in MAGA, they really want to know more information about the people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein, and is there a blackmail list, and are there foreign countries' governments involved? And there's nothing wrong with people continuing to ask that.
For the first time in his political life, Donald Trump is losing control of the message. The MAGA base is demanding answers after Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that Jeffrey Epstein did not have a client list. At the time of his death, Epstein faced charges over the sex trafficking of underage girls. Bondi's announcement is a 180 from the theories Trump and his allies have promoted for years. For example, Dan Bongino.
A lot of people think that he was killed. He knew a lot on a lot of people.
He was killed,
You
I
think
think.
so? Yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go ever.
Okay, well, now he's deputy director at the FBI, and Bongino is talking about quitting over handling of the Epstein case. The group chat is back. Jasmine, one of the things that struck me about watching this play out online in social media posts is people saying someone should be fired. This person needs to go, that person needs to go. Is it Bondi? Is it Bongino? Where's Kash Patel? What are you hearing?
Yeah, well, I think people have to look back to Signalgate and how long it took President Biden to fire Mike Waltz, and yet he's still
President
around.
Trump, yeah.
President Trump to fire Mike Waltz, and yet he is still now heading for a confirmation vote to be the UN ambassador, right? President Trump does not want to fire his cabinet. And in fact, he really actually likes Pam Bondi. They spend a lot of time together. They have a lot of FaceTime, and they've had for years. He also says that he likes Dan Bongino. Of course, Dan Bongino showed up to work yesterday, a source told me, really something that the administration hopes is kind of the first step for this to be, just a bridge over troubled water, something kind of in the distance, and that the base gets over it. Of course, I talked to one MAGA influencer who basically said the base, after this, couple of days, including President Trump's Truth Social, was unmoved, that they're not moving on. And so they're kind
even
of
as he says over and over again, is anyone
get
still
over it, that
talking
they're
about
unmoved.
this? And
so
the answer
kind of
is
between
yes.
a rock and a hard place. But I think that people have to recognize that Donald Trump does not want to give anybody a scalp, and he actually really likes Pam Bondi. And so I don't necessarily see him firing her, at least in the
meantime, Democrats weighing in on this. Here's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last...
God, I mean, every single time he comes on the screen, it's the negative charisma. By the way, this is who Nancy Pelosi forced down our throats. I also called this, chat. I called that Hakeem Jeffries would be forced down our throats years ago. In fact, I did so, I think, on the Majority Report. I'd have to find the call. 67% of respondents believe that the government is hiding documents regarding the Epstein files, page 75. I mean, this is how dumb the Democrats are. Take advantage of this, you dumb fuck. And yes, throw Bill Clinton into the dumpster. He's 90 years old. Who gives a fuck? And he's a fucking disgusting sex criminal.
Several years, and now the chickens are coming home to roost.
Look, I like it. I like it a lot.
Did you just do the chin? I want to know what you're going to say.
Yeah. What I'm going to say is that, look, there's very few issues that Democrats can weigh into on conspiracy stuff that will get MAGA to even think Democrats got half a brain. But this is one of them. One thing that's lost, and Democrats, listen to me, the way we should be talking about this and the reason that these files should be made public is because we never talk about the victims and the folks who've lived through, the women who've lived through what they had to live through with this whole thing. Like
By the way, Chuck, if you guys don't know, Chuck is a famous left-wing consultant. If you don't know who this is, he's a famous left-wing consultant, but he's a political consultant giving political consulting responses from the point of view of an operative. Now, how left-wing is he really? Well, it is what it is. But this is of consultants, he got his start on the left.
We talk about him, we talk about Trump, we talk about a Democrat, we talk about Clinton, whatever, but we forget.
And he's not white. He's a Latin man.
On the rabbit hole, a lot of the people posting are like, what about these victims? They need justice.
Sure.
They see that as part of their...
Democrats says this is how you should be talking about this.
Yeah.
Talk about the victim and say that's why we should see everything.
All right, I have one for you, too. You had your chin.
Yeah.
This one is Marjorie Taylor Greene demanding transparency on the case.
Why am I Marjorie Taylor Greene all day?
That it crosses for many people. Jeffrey Epstein is literally the most well-known convicted pedophile in modern-day history. Being convicted years ago for procuring a child for prostitution, as well as other charges. And this is something that's been talked about by many people serving in the administration, myself, and many others on the right and the left, of there needing to be transparency.
If the whole point of outsiders becoming insiders, Chuck, but people becoming insiders is that they're going to make a difference. And what I hear in the way people talk about it is not only you not making a difference, you're becoming part of whatever machine I'm upset about. And like, there's an undercurrent there that I wonder is hard to fight.
Absolutely, and I think that's on both sides of the aisle. I mean, you've got the extreme left and the extreme right, which all will come together. But this is one of those issues. They just don't trust the government. But she's right, and actually you're thinking just like Marjorie Taylor Greene in regards to the victim.
Trying to get me fired from all my clients. Go ahead.
But I do think that there is a fundamental problem that the president has to deal with. You're right, he likes Pam Bondi, and she's taking the fall for this. I mean, we don't know what we don't know, what's really happening behind the scenes. The list coming coming out is not going to be good for Republicans or Democrats. I'm sure there's people on the list.
Ben Bondi says there's no list.
Or the names.
Yes.
But Laura Trump said yesterday that she thinks that there's going to be more information coming out, and she's trying to, obviously, if she's coming out and saying the president's frustrated about this, they realize that something has to happen.
We do have new CNN reporting this morning. President Trump is urging those in his inner circle to let the furor surrounding the Jeffrey Epstein case die down. It comes after a dramatic few days that put the president kind of at odds with some of his most ardent supporters, including inside his own administration. At one point yesterday, it was not even clear whether the FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino would show up to work again. That's after fallout with Attorney General.
We know we all know what it is. Donald Trump is heavily implicated. And a lot of elite Republicans and Democrats are implicated. That's all that, it's not complicated. The pedophile, it's not even a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact, all right? Like, it's not that hard. And the reason why Democrats don't want to push is because, as Christine Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's daughter, tweeted, a lot of, quote, her faves were implicated. It is a conspiracy. It's not a theory. It's a conspiracy that it's true. And here it is. The Epstein case is horrific, and the young women deserve justice. It is quite likely that some of our faves are implicated, but we must follow the facts and let the chips fall where they may, whether on Republicans or Democrats. We said enough. #MeToo. It is what it is. It's not even a conspiracy theory. It's a fact.
General Pam Bondi over the handling of the Epstein files. He did return to the office yesterday ultimately, but his future remains up in the air. Let's get right to CNN's Kevin Liptak at the White House. Where is this going, Kevin, and how does the White House feel about the direction?
Yeah, well, the hope and I think expectation inside this building and on the part of President Trump is that this will all eventually sputter out, that the president's entreaties to his supporters, to his words, put this to rest, will be followed, and that this controversy will follow the pattern of so many Trump controversies before it and essentially dissolve into the ether. And at least among one subset of his outraged base, which are the people who actually work for him, it does appear to be going in that direction. Dan Bongino, the deputy FBI director, who threatened to quit over this last week and actually didn't show up to work on Friday, did wind up in the office yesterday. The president was infuriated by his ultimatum, we're told, and it did take some massaging on the part of allies of both of these men, including the vice president, J.D. Vance, to sort of get things back on track. So Bongino back on the job for now, although we should note he has said in the past he's not particularly fond of the job he's in, and it does appear as if he wants to maintain some credibility among his podcast audience, to whom he peddled a lot of these conspiracies about Jeffrey Epstein before he took this job. And at the end of the day, it is that question of credibility that really is at the center of all of this, both for Bongino and for President Trump. Trump is someone who fueled all of these conspiracies as a candidate. Now, as president, he seems unwilling or unable to follow through and to give his supporters the answers that they're really looking for. We did hear from a top ally of the president, his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, who suggested we had not yet heard the final word on this matter. Listen to what she said.
There needs to be more transparency on this. And I think that will happen. Look, I don't know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. He's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this. And I believe anything that they are able to release that doesn't, damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that, I believe they'll probably try to get out sooner rather than later.
So you hear her saying there that more will be coming out. That was not at all the gist of the memo from the Justice Department that started all of this, which essentially said case closed, and we've got no indications from the Justice Department or the White House that they do in fact plan to put more of all of this out. You also hear her say that she thinks the president understands all of this. What we've heard from a lot of Trump allies is that they're concerned that he does not in fact understand the gravity of all of this, and that his attempts to dismiss it are only making matters worse.
Pretty notable to hear from Lara Trump on this, saying that we will hear more eventually. Someone who theoretically has a little bit of a line to the Oval Office. All right, Kevin Liptak at the White House this morning. Thanks so much for sharing this new reporting.
And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse for this.
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth.
All of a sudden, Trump loyalists drop decade of rage on Epstein files. It's almost as if Donald Trump is guilty.
The world is confusing. Lots of people are putting all of their mental energy into figuring out what.
Oh, we might have to watch this. We might have to watch Conspiracy Theories Are Right.
And nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein
who gives
matter.
a fuck what this dipshit says?
Jeffrey Epstein saga that continues to be a major focus for President Trump's MAGA base. The president wants everyone to move on, but are prominent right-wing voices willing to let it go?
Yep.
We'll dig into that. Meanwhile, President Trump is taking a tougher stance with Russia, threatening sanctions and promising critical military aid for Ukraine. We'll look at what's behind this move. Plus, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is not giving up on becoming mayor of New York City. We'll have more about his run as an independent. And speaking of New York, a rough night for commuters after storms slammed the area. Look at this, causing flash flooding all over New York City, also parts of New Jersey. We'll have more on that as well. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It is Tuesday, July 15th. With us, we have the co-host of our fourth hour, contributing writer at The Atlantic, Jonathan Lemire, U.S. special correspondent for BBC News and the host of The Rest is Politics podcast, Katty Kay, and co-founder of Axios, Mike Allen is with us this morning. A lot to get to, and we begin this morning with the Trump administration trying to portray a united front as the president continues to face the threat of revolt from his MAGA base over the Jeffrey Epstein files. After telling his supporters not to waste time and energy on the deceased, convicted sex offender, the White House released this statement yesterday, declaring the president's entire team would continue to work in, quote, lockstep, despite the reported feud involving Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino. Bongino was reportedly back at work yesterday, according to CNN, after he took Friday off and was rumored to have threatened to quit. CNN also reports Bongino's long-term future is still uncertain at this point. President Trump told reporters on Sunday he spoke to Bongino earlier that morning and thought Bongino was in, quote, good shape in his current position. Meanwhile, some high-profile Trump loyalists who voiced concerns over the lack of transparency regarding the Epstein files are now apparently heeding the president's suggestion to just simply move on. At the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit, in Florida on Friday.
Like the ones that were screaming all weekend?
Well, this is it. Here's Charlie Kirk leading the charge.
They're really upset.
Yes.
Children were molested and raped, and the truth had to come out.
Over 200, maybe 250, according to Pam Bondi.
They've lied.
Well, here's Charlie Kirk talking about the administration's handling of the matter rather critically. Take a look.
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares.
A lot. I said a lot. Every hand.
That's a lot.
But now he says he is, quote, done with the matter.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government. This show is sponsored by to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend.
Balls in their hand.
Fox
so
News
you
host
trust them. Okay.
Laura Ingraham was also on stage at that Florida summit where she polled the audience about the topic.
How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay, I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening. I'm not going to grade you on a curve. So I was going to get to that. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
And then yesterday, she scolded other conservative influencers for discussing the matter. Take a look.
Now, as conservative influencers were eating their own about Epstein, the president was stealing the show on the one-year anniversary of the day he almost lost his life. He made a triumphant appearance at a global sporting event. Meanwhile, Democrats...
You baited Ethan successfully? Link. Please link. Hey Ethan the Klein, how are you doing, man? MAGA talking points coming out of the H3 subreddit once again. They can't accept the fact that they fell off. Views as a whole are lower, yes, but they have ever considered many of us have jobs and are unable to watch the show live. I know concepts of job or employment are hard for them to understand. I was wondering by Nux and they were swarming the post. The Nux, by the way, chat, this is the Nux guy.
Beefy asks, no! Where did you hide her?
Look at these hands. Nux, I challenge you to fight. I challenge you to fight right now. Nux, box. You and I. Look at these fucking hands. Look at this little fuzzy slipper.
Did you hide her JoJo sports bra?
And I knew you were gonna bring it up. I don't know Fifi.
The truth comes out.
She just follows me on Twitter. I've never even spoken to her before.
You can't see behind the avatar that's over Nux's face. So there was some
Why did Padilla have this guy on? This was 3 years ago. I guess it's before he did his like this guy just basically, you know, he figured out that if you react to popular VTubers on your YouTube, you can get like following from that. And he does a lot of lolicon, like, you know, thumbnail baiting. So he's kind of like everything sus about VTubing. Let's just put it that way. Ethan's response. Okay, god damn it, dude. Jesus Christ. Mike from PA is caught here raging against the inevitability of dying alone. He is a 40-year-old, single, unkept, and physically repulsive loser. Literally, that's guys, he's right. He's right. This is why he keeps DMing AB unhinged shit like this. Yes! Yes! That is why he keeps DMing AB on his shit. Okay, guilty. I did DM AB this. I'm sorry, chat. AB has never responded, by the way. Don't tell Mike we took 18 days off in June. Bro, whatever you need to believe. 18 days? I thought it was in July. I thought they took a week off in July and a week off in Wait, is that true? Is he just lying? I mean, well, I'll check. I don't know. It feels like it's a joke though. Oh, hold on. Okay. So 3 weeks ago, and then 7 days ago. So the 2 weeks were 3 weeks ago. It's the 15th. So you only took a week off. You took a week off in June. 1 week, not 3 weeks, not 18 days, huh? 310,000 views, by the way. Oof. So that's not even true. AB never responded, by the way. Yes, I know. AB's a bitch. I know. We know. Hey, make sure you show this to Ethan. Only 7 million views in June. Damn. Yeah, I did do that. I'm sorry, chat. I shouldn't have done that. How do you live with yourself, man, working for that guy? Do you ever feel bad about it? Is the money at least good? Yeah, I did do that. I did send him. I did do that. That's true. I did do that. It is true. This is real. I did do this. It is true. I did do that. Continually over a year, it is 2 days of DMs, 4 messages total, with a gap of 6 months. He usually takes a summer break. Why is this summer break the lowest ever? He usually takes a summer break. Why is it? To go further, the peak of the past few years was the summer of 23, in which he took a summer break, reaching 27 million in May, 24 million in June, and 29 million in July. There was a break. Look at the line exactly on July 1st. No episodes. It's a little silly for Mike to send those DMs to AB. Nah, it's funny. I just want you guys to know I'm not fake. I'm 100% honest. I'm not a fake person. I will be honest with you guys. In fact, I didn't even tell you guys about this because I thought it was funny. It was more funny to me knowing that I sent a couple of DMs to AB and knowing that he read them. It makes it even funnier to me. And I'll be honest with you. I don't like these guys because I want you to understand AB does run to Ethan Klein and get him to post. That was the point of this. I wanted to establish for everybody as clear as day that AB runs to Ethan to post shit. This proves it. AB ran to Ethan to post like a little bitch. And he did exactly what I told him to do. He's used to following orders over there. Ethan Klein used to also be mad about me having 7,000 subs. Here, let me show you guys that real quick. The cope where he's like, the cope he has of just Karl Marx was a freeloading. Oh no, sorry, that was a different thing. Where is it? Where is the? Oh, here it is.
Mike from PA to me is a full-on grift, and somehow he still succeeded. You know, he has 7,000 members or something. Every time I see that number, I'm like, whoa. I'm happy to say that his sub count is getting lower.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's closer to 8,000 before. I mean, every time I look, he has between 7,000 and 8,000 paying members, which is pretty disturbing, but it is what.
Look again. Look again. Oh shit, my number is broken. See, my sub counters have been breaking. Hold on, let me fix it. Look again. Mike from PA here, Scott here, raging against the inevitability of dying. Everyone, chat, dies alone. That is unfortunately our lot in life. You may be surrounded by your friends, but the experience of death is one that you have as a solitary individual, a solitary subjectivity winking out. And in that moment, before the DMT floods your brain, you will reflect on your life and those that you loved and the contributions you made to society. And when I die, when I eventually die, I will look back and I will sleep easy because I know I've done what was right. I did my best. I tried to make the world a better place. I fought for the innocent. I fought for the downtrodden. I fought for people that needed my help. I did everything I could to make this world a better place. Sometimes I failed, sometimes I succeeded. When Ethan Klein looks back on his life, it'll be nothing but a ball of resentments and jealousies and hatreds because you are a small, pathetic man and you are fucking losing. You know, you'd think AB would keep quiet and keep his head down and get his paycheck because he knows Mike is right. Instead, he's running to his master. That's all AB knows how to do, is lick the boot. Keep DMing. 2 times I sent him DMs. Man, my enemies, I just love my enemies. I love my fucking enemies. Oh, did I put 100K? Oh, whoops, sorry about that, chat. It's only 10K, sorry. I wish. Oh my God, that's so fucking awesome, dude. I was wondering, why, wait, did the bat signal go up? The bat signal went up. Holy shit. When the history heavily condemns the Israelis for their genocide in Gaza, his kids will despise, I don't know. I mean, it looks like they kind of seem like they are supremacists. Have I seen Superman? Not yet. All right, let's keep going. Sorry, chat. I wanted to talk more about politics and not just Ethan Klein, but it is very funny.
Democrats keep shooting in their own goal, stumbling from one embarrassment to the next.
You know, sometimes you get it wrong. As I've said here on this show, I get it wrong every day. Sometimes you make mistakes. You read something wrong. Most notably last year, after spending a lot of time with Joe Biden, I talked about Biden at his best. I got it wrong. Sometimes you change your mind and you see some facts, the facts change, you change your mind with those facts. That happens. But I must say, very rarely have I ever seen people going from a decade-long crusade against pedophilia, against sex abuse, against child exploitation, and making that almost a centerpiece of their existence, saying, when we get in power, we're going to release the Epstein files. When we get in power, we're going to be different. When we get in, we're not going to do what Joe Biden and his Attorney General Merrick Garland did. We're going to expose it all. And you go on your podcast and you go on your podcast and you go on your podcast and you keep repeating that over and over again, or you go on Fox News or you go on any of these other channels and you say, we're going to do this. And then you have a weekend conference in Florida where everybody's enraged. What Charlie Kirk said, 7,500 people outraged by that. The truth must come out.
They're so fucking lame. Like, MSNBC, what's their ratings at right now? What is the ratings, MSNBC ratings? Are they like improving? They're still declining? MSNBC, CNN see dramatic declines in viewership. Look at this ad. Holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ. Okay. MSNBC and CNN suffered staggering losses in viewership over the past year, while Donald Trump's ascendancy supercharged Fox News. A year-over-year decline of 15%. They only have 91,000 primetime viewers from 25 to 54. Oh my God, I'm rivaling MSNBC and Hassan is crushing them? Guys, this is like views, not concurrence. This is views, not concurrence. The exodus of eyeballs was even worse during the day, with total viewership averaging 596,000. How do these networks even exist with this little viewership? They have like downtown New York fucking studios. They have tens of thousands of people working for them. Like, what the fuck? Oh, okay, they have 1,000 employees. Okay, only 1,000 employees, but still 1,000 employees? This could be, I mean, 200,000 views 6 hours ago. 129,000 views 23 hours ago for Superman. 286,000 views for Epstein, Magaland.
The president is defending you.
I mean, MSNBC is probably smaller than Hassan at this point.
Fascinating to me too, though, that we see
As
this
somebody
across
who
the
worked at TV for almost 2 decades, it's so dead. Yeah, they're dead.
board. I mean, even, you know, within the context of the,
right,
what's her name? Batatas. I can't remember. I can't remember.
Batya Unger Sargon.
Yes, like who was pounding the drum about how Donald Trump is a true populist, and you know, and then of course this bill gets passed, and she is out there now, like her entire premise about this so-called populism could not have been more destroyed. Like I don't think there is a single piece of legislation that has passed in my lifetime that is 180 degrees away from populism. You have dispossessed 17 million low-income people from healthcare. You're going to cut Medicare as well, which is going to dispossess more low-income people. You are dispossessing millions of people off of food assistance. You are pushing a massive upward redistribution of wealth to the wealthiest in this country by all of the tax provisions. I mean, there's no other bill that is greater. And here she is now just looking to the real problem, the real expression of populism is to attack immigrants.
That's exactly right.
So here we have a clip of this.
Oh,
Look
my
at
bad.
this.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Narrative on the left that they're taking jobs that Americans will not do or don't want to do. And it's absolute nonsense. There's not a single industry in the United States that's done by a majority illegal migrant labor. The highest rates are about 30% in agriculture, which means 72% of people working farms are American citizens. And it is just so disgusting to say these are jobs that are beneath an American. Turns out Americans don't think that. When you have mass deportations and a closed border, employers have to pay more wages. And guess what? Americans are happy to take those jobs. You look at the 1970s.
Let's stop here for a second. I don't know that woman's ever been on a farm in her entire life. There is no doubt that there are, 70% of the farm workers may very well be, American citizens. But I got news for you. They are not out there picking almonds. They are not out there picking peaches. Play this clip that we have from some farmers who were asked about this in the wake of these deportations and detentions.
Stop tracking. Thanks, Vio.
Keith Smith says most immigration workers left after the law took effect, so this potato farmer hired Americans. Problem is, he says, most show up late, work slower, and are ready to head home after lunch. Some even quit after just one day out in the field.
There's a Hispanic man that works for us, and I say, he's 52, and he'll make anywhere from $70 to $100 a day. I said, if you can keep up with him and do a good job, you can make that. But they're not physically in shape to do it, and probably not mentally tough enough to do it. Some of them.
I mean, look, the fact of the matter is if you come from a farming community in Mexico and you have been raised in that environment, this type of work is not as
Stop talking, Sam Cedar. Stop talking.
Some farms, these are local farm type of situations. But this whole right populism just evaporated 2 weeks ago. And the only thing they have to sort of like push back on Trump now is he didn't release the Epstein files.
It's incredible. Batya, you know how Trump has those hats that say Trump was right about everything? We need to make hats that say Batya is wrong about everything, because her whole thesis, and she's been screaming this for like a year now, is that Trump is the true populist and the Democrats are the true elitists. And I did a video on this a while ago before the election, I think, laying out like this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because if you look at his record, he increased overtime pay for millions of people. He killed the $15 minimum wage for federal contractors that Biden had put into place. He got rid of that. He opposes the PRO Act. He opposes minimum wage increases. He destroyed the CFPB. He outsourced 200,000 jobs in his first term. In his second term, he already killed 115,000 jobs by killing some of the Biden legislation like the CHIPS Act. I mean, now, of course, as you pointed out, Sam, he cut Medicaid massively, where 16, 17 million people are going to lose their health care. This also effectively cuts Medicare, the big, beautiful bill, because it forces a sequester because it violates PAYGO. And so on every front, you could give me, honestly, and I mean this, the worst Democrat, the worst one you could think of, Manchin, Sinema, whoever, way more populist than Trump and any Republican. I mean, look at Josh Hawley, who he was, oh, we really can't cut Medicaid. That's a horrible idea. We should definitely not cut Medicaid. Then immediately turns around and votes to cut Medicaid. Right-wing populism is not a thing. It is completely and utterly fake. There was a time where you could maybe make an argument that, hey, if they mean what they say, then maybe, but we are like, the results are in. We've had so long now to actually test whether or not they mean it, and they don't. I will grant them that, like, Thomas Massey, there's like a libertarian strain on the right, like with Ron Paul every now and then. He puts the party.
A guy. There is a guy. And I got news for you. Thomas Massey does not care about cutting people off of Medicaid.
Oh, no. Yeah, the libertarians are horrible on economic policy.
Anti-war, and he may have a principled decision about, like, sort of like, we shouldn't increase the debt, which I also think is a completely, like, the idea we shouldn't increase the debt in an inefficient way that does not invest in the country, but rather allows private individuals to sort of like reap the benefit of deficit spending. Ron Paul said on a stage, if that guy doesn't have health insurance, they die on the street. That's what's happened.
Right. That's right. No, the point that I was making is that there is only one 99% of the Republican Party, especially the elected officials.
I show Speed showing support. You're linking me Haas posts. I show Speed wearing Bolshevik Red Army hat, a clear and irrefutable signal of support to the American Communist Party. Trust the plan. Imagine if Haas was like, imagine if Haas had become a Destiny Orbiter and then become a Zerka Orbiter. Like, imagine if he had not done that. Like, being a Destiny Orbiter and then becoming a Zerka Orbiter and then becoming a, what's his fucking name Orbiter? Fuck. What's the other one? Yeah, then Hinkle was his Orbiter. And then he had to become a Hinkle Orbiter. Like, god damn, that's embarrassing, man.
Officials are MAGA, full stop. It's a cult. They'll go wherever Trump wants them to go.
Why do people hate the ACP? Because it's just a weird, like, little Discord cult. That's all. It's not that I kind of am more disappointed about it because they're so, like, embarrassing, and they did MAGA communism for a while. And it's like, the problem with the ACP is that there was a seed of legitimate criticism that could have been made of the left. But then they went full Zerka mode, like literal Zerka mode. And they just became a self-parody, doing things to try to chase the algorithm for views. And it's not a real shit. It's sad. I actually think could have been, under the right conditions, a very interesting creator to exist. But unfortunately, he wanted it too much. So he just chased the algorithm and he found himself in the cesspit, and he just kind of made himself into a joke. It sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, and now they're very Fed coded. The best Haas clip ever. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, this is so legendary.
Well, you're just talking like a Mongoloid.
I don't give a fuck. I am a Mongoloid. In my heart, I'm a Mongoloid. That is what I am. We are a horde. That is what we are. Yes, we are that. We are 100% that.
That's not something to be proud of.
It is something to be proud of, because the Mongols are the ones who created civilization. And you created nothing but barbarism. You're the fucking barbarians. You destroyed the treasures of mankind. The Mongols only united it. What the fuck do you know about civilization? What the fuck do you know about pride? What the fuck do you have to be proud of except looting, genociding, and destroying the cultures and peoples and wealth of this world? What the fuck do you know, Cans Cuck?
Well, you're the one here chipping out, so...
I am chipping out, bitch, because I'm a fucking human being, and you're a little soy boy cuck little bitch. You don't know who the fuck I am.
No, I see you. I think you're a Mongoloid. That's what you
I am a Mongoloid. You're right. It is what I am, and I'm proud of being that.
Well, it's an anthropological term. It doesn't actually mean Mongol.
Oh, so what's your fucking point? You ugly, disgusting, fucking ugly, disgusting, fucking barbarian, smelly piece of shit. You want to talk racism? I can be way more racist than you, Angloid. What fucking civilizations did Angloids ever fucking have? It needed the Romans to fuck all of you in your ass to give you any civilization. You never had any of your own. You want to be racist? I could be way more racist. You want to talk shit about Asians? What the fuck do you have on Asia, huh?
I have nothing on it.
You have nothing, because you're a Can's cuck, bitch.
This legitimately was where Hoswood has his absolute peak. And it's all been downhill from here. And it's been a bummer. It's been a bummer for me. I wish he was good, but he's not. Unfortunately, he sucks. And he was never going to change because he doesn't have the masculine energy to accept that he was wrong. And he can't do the thing of like, it takes a lot of masculine energy to be like, yeah, I was kind of cringe and wrong about stuff. And I was trying to bully people and have humility. He's not man enough for that. And, you know, unfortunately, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hate to see it. But the Mongoloid rant is probably one of my favorite rants of all time. He was debating like some sort of white supremacist nerd. And that was fucking legendary. Like, it was so good.
That does buck him every now and then are not the populist right, because the populist right is fake. It doesn't exist.
No.
There's a libertarian strain that on some issues, some of the time, will maybe cut in a different direction. But the point you're making is also correct, which is libertarian and populist is not the same anyway. Libertarians are the worst on economics because they want to get rid of the entire social safety net. But my point is people need to wake up to the fact that the whole idea of the populist right is a scam. It's completely fake. They just lie, and then they turn around and vote like any George W. Bush era neocon free marketeer.
Yeah, well, I mean, Josh Hawley's state, right? He's the senator from Missouri. I'm not making that up, right? It just came out today, this story, that the Republican governor, it's official, has repealed the paid sick leave ballot measure that was voted on by like upwards, close to 60% of Missouri voters in the fall. And they just basically, it would have helped over 700,000 private sector workers. And despite the fact that voters voted for it overwhelmingly, and it was taken to they tried to fight it in the state Supreme Court, unanimously upheld it, the Republican governor is doing away with it. Like, this is, when we talk about our democracy, I can't think of a more undemocratic action, and that happens from the Republican Party. That's the Republican Party, and it's not MAGA. It's not like Hakeem Jeffries keeps giving these quotes, calling them MAGA extremists. Like, would this governor be a MAGA extremist? Because I mean, he's not like right under Donald Trump. No, he's just a Republican. So call them Republicans. It's insane.
Yeah, except the Lincoln Project guys are now apparently like loving Che Guevara. I don't know if you guys saw that video that they released.
No.
Some of the never Trump Republicans, it's kind of amazing that some of the never Trump Republicans have now just morphed into like very aggressive leftists somehow. So that's the only thing that gives me some hope. But in terms of, the elected officials, they're the same as they ever were, except if anything, they're just worse. And they've now mastered the art of just lying. It's almost like they realized within the last decade that like we could just say the opposite of what we do and kind of get away with it because nobody's going to call us on it and the media is not going to hold us accountable. And that's what they do. The whole party is built on lies. They are a fascist robber.
Yes, that's why we call it postmodern conservatism, because they literally do not believe in truth. They do not believe in truth. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about honesty. Like, that is how they do it.
Party, and they just lie as part of the program.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, getting back to what you had said earlier about Trump saying one thing and Stephen Miller doing another, or the bill doing another. I think he just realized, like, I should just say the thing that is going to be received the best and let other people figure out what the reality is of it. I don't even know if he even thinks that much about, I don't think that calculation that I just walked out actually goes through his mind. I think he's just like, I know not to cut Medicare or Medicaid, so we're not cutting Medicaid, even though it has no relationship to what they're actually doing. I just don't think it matters to him. Like he said today, we had a clip of him saying, like, a year ago, nobody was talking about America. Now we're hot. We're the hottest country. And it's true. There's probably a lot of people going like, we should not deal with America anymore. Or, hey, America, we're no longer going to follow their policy.
Just ask ChatGPT, bro. It won't lie to you. Some shit my brother actually said to me. Oh, no.
The Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
What? On the
DOJ and FBI
on what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein. Okay. On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No. She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
On Texas, how many more seats do you want the Republicans to?
So in other words, this is Donald Trump admitting he's in them. This is Donald Trump admitting he's in the Epstein files. That's it. I mean, it's just simple as that. He's admitting he's in. He's saying, oh yeah, no, those files are fake. Oh, he's in it. That's it. It's confirmed. It's fucking confirmed. He fucked those kids. He did it. All right. Let's watch our friend Michael Burns' new video. Conspiracy theorists are right in the wrong way.
What's really going on? And thanks to those intellectual warriors, we have ideas like this.
Have you ever wondered how The Simpsons can predict the future? And could it be that we are living beneath a cosmic ocean, shielded by a mysterious dome?
Actually, in 2018, Joe Biden died. He passed away from eating 15 hot dogs at Six Flags.
Well, a lot of this stuff does sound insane. It's not that much crazier than a cabal of billionaires and real estate investors.
I haven't had a hot dog in a while. A good, solid hot dog. Wait, I think I had a corn dog recently. I guess that counts. VO made me a corn dog. But no, I haven't had like I don't like, okay, can I be honest about Costco Glizzies? I don't like boiled hot dogs. Do not give me boiled hot dogs. I like them on a roller or on a grill. That's it. I don't want boiled hot dogs. Okay? Maybe if you want to do like, if you have like a griddle and you like cut them in half and you do it, I don't like them boiled. Boiled is not my fan. So Costco boils their hot dogs, and for me, it's just, it doesn't hit. I mean, they're still good. Like $1.50 for a drink and a large quarter-pound hot dog. It is pretty crazy. That is a good deal. I mean, nobody can say that's not a bad deal. That's a great deal. But like, and I'm not saying I wouldn't have one. It's just I don't like it that way. This is the biggest indicator you're white Chinese. You want to see fire on your food. I mean, my favorite type of food is Korean barbecue. A marinated rib in, thin sliced beef rib. That's what I want. That's probably like my favorite meal. It would be that. I like bulgogi too. Bulgogi's fine. Do you have a Yakko's? Of course. Of course I have. Dirty water dog for the win. I mean, boil your hot dog in your favorite beer. I mean, that's probably all right. Have you had Korean barbecue in LA? Of course I have. Of course I have. But I'm being good now, chat. Can you believe it? I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have lost. I think I'm down almost 30 pounds from my peak weight without using GLP. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that crazy? But if I did, no shame. I just don't like medical interventions. I just don't like medical interventions. There, I said it. I happen to think that the Ozempics, like if they can make Ethan Klein lose weight, it's a miracle drug. It's a miracle drug. I think if you've been struggling with your weight, getting Ozempic is totally valid. I mean, it got Ethan Klein to lose weight. Now, he looks fucking terrible. He looks terrible, but he did lose weight. Not if it melts your brain. Wait, it melts your brain? Ozempic is going to cause some I Am Legend type shit 20 years down the line. There's no way that daily use of that shit could be good. They don't use it daily. It's once a week. number one. And number two, that's just your just world fallacy brain. That's your conservative brain kicking in. Some part of your brain thinks that what people have, they deserve. That's your liberalism lurking. That's your liberalism lurking. You think skinny people are skinny because of some sort of thing they did that they earned. And in reality, they just don't feel hunger the same way that fat people do. It's not any kind of, they didn't do anything. They're not good people. They just experience life differently. So they don't feel the same type of hunger that fatter people do. They literally don't. And so all that Ozempic does is give you skinny people brain. It gives you the hormones so that your body feels fuller sooner. That's it. And like, that's why people mauled over Ozempic, because it works, because it proves that we're actually just materialist beings that exist in reality. And we aren't these like dualist, spirits where we get what we deserve because we made choices. No, we are a materialist being that operates on this like firmament of hormones and emotions and like and deterministic things. And like, when you realize that, you start to have more compassion for other people, because you realize that person who's homeless, they don't deserve that. They had a lot of bad luck and a lot of things happened, and maybe they made mistakes, but who doesn't? And you start to have a little bit more compassion. And you start to realize that maybe we should cover each other and help each other. There is research coming out that Ozempic has neurological issues. Is that that it can cause you to go blind to a degree? I'm sure there's some side effects that can happen. You're an ideologue. In what way am I an ideologue? Yeah, you up to be okay, guy. Yeah, you are slightly above average. What achievement? Yes, you don't have handsomeness, so it's over one's fault. Great. Huh? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? You spread your narrative, never rely on real things. Okay, like can you be more specific? Because what you're doing right now is called rhetoric, and there's no substance. You need to give me substance. You have to make an argument so I can engage with it. This is not like, I don't know if you've been taught that this is like intelligent or debate or something, but you've actually made no points. So there's nothing for me to, you've just kind of slandered me in a generic sense, or defamed me, or kind of attacked my credibility, but you haven't really made any point. And this is a sign of you having low intelligence, because you don't know the difference between rhetoric, conclusions, and like evidence, facts, or arguments. And when you lead with your conclusions, you're not practicing logic. You're manipulating. So why don't you practice some logic and make some syllogisms? Make some assertions, make some premises. Let's see what your points are. Yes. I asked you to make a point, and the silence is going to begin. Every time, man.
Let's see, or we're going to look to China to establish the. But it is true. If you look at a word cloud, America may come up more often than it did a year ago. Kyle Kulinski, real pleasure. We will of course put links to both the Kyle Kulinski show and Crystal Kyle and Friends in our podcast and YouTube description. We could do this for another 6 hours, but I don't have that time. I got it, or the energy.
I hear you, man. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Yep. Thanks, Kyle.
Hey, folks, don't forget.
You can beat addiction cold turkey if you're mentally strong enough. I would say that this is excessively simplistic. Some people do beat addictions cold turkey. That's an observable fact in the universe. But if you're trying to come up with an anti-addiction program, you need to have a different policy than just telling people go cold turkey. If your goal is to actually reduce addiction, some people will do that. And in the right supportive environment, that might be good for an individual or two. But it's not the best way to fight addiction as a society. It's actually kind of why I like cognitive behavioral therapy, because it's about bringing power back to what you feel like you can control, right? And challenging negative self-talk, and challenging the assumption, and like helping you handle and control your emotions by challenging the idea behind an emotion. When you feel jealous of a partner, what is the unspoken idea behind jealousy? That the partner will betray you. The partner will betray your trust. That the partner will cheat on you. The partner will, abandon you. That's what jealousy is saying, is that there's a risk of this happening, and you need to control your partner, because otherwise that might happen to you. And if you actually think about that, if you challenge that emotion and you say to yourself, is that fair to my partner to say that? If the answer you come back is with yes, well, then you have a trust issue. But most of the time you're going to say no. And you're going to be like, I'm just feeling insecure. And instead of me putting that on my partner, I need to work on it with myself. And if I need reassurance, it's okay to ask your partner for reassurance. But you should recognize that this is your insecurity, not their bad behavior. Now, sometimes partners commit bad behavior. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about the feeling of jealousy in general. That's why cognitive behavioral therapy is so good, because it teaches you to challenge the idea behind the emotion. Sometimes the idea is true. And that's when the emotion is well calibrated. Like, I get angry at injustice. The injustice is real, so the anger is justified. Think of emotions as like programs that your body has evolved to run in certain situations. And what you should do as a rational human being is say, do I need to run this program right now? Is this the right program? And if you realize, no, it's not, you can kind of talk yourself through it. You can kind of meditate and you can kind of bring yourself out so you can control your emotions instead of having your emotions control you. And this is something that you continually practice and you'll get better at it. See, cognitive behavioral therapy is great because it helps neurodivergent people, me, to critically examine my own brain. Seems like learning a video game system's logic. Exactly. It's very good for us autismos. Like, for example, I hope this isn't oversharing, but I went to dinner with a friend of mine a couple days ago, and we went to this one place that I love. There's this really amazing dive bar in LA that I go to, and they have amazing food that's super fucking fair price. And they have wings there. And it's like $20 for like, I want to say like 12. The price is insanely good. And it's like, you know, pre-inflation level. But the wings are legitimately probably top 3 of my wings I've ever eaten anywhere for any price. This restaurant is so fucking good. And these buffalo wings are so fucking good. They like lacquer the sauce on it. The wings are perfectly cooked. They're crispy as fuck. Zero rubberiness. The sauce is lacquered on. The sauce is savory, sweet, and spicy. It's for adults, okay? And I hadn't had them spicy before. And the people I went to dinner was like, oh no, get the spicy, get the spicy. I was like, all right. So I started eating the spicy. And they were like, oh, I guess it's not as spicy as we remember. And they tried to eat it. And they started, bullets of sweat were pouring down their face. And they took one bite and they were done. It was fucking hilarious. I don't want to call them out, but it was very funny. Oh, and when I ordered the wings spicy, the waitress, who was a Korean woman, was like, these are not for white people. She said that to me. She says they're too spicy for white people. And I said, bring it on. Oh God, it was so funny, dude. Like there are some types of white men that would happen to them and they would get super butthurt. They would get like, if that happened to Asmongold, he would get super butthurt. He probably would have went to his chat and been like, I was racially profiled at the restaurant. Where can I find these mythical delicious hot wings in PA? I've been looking forever since it's not in PA, unfortunately. It's in LA. And like, for me, it's just funny. I take that, by the way, they're right most of the time. Now, see, I've done the hot wings challenge. What is it called? Hot one. I've done hot ones. I've done the hot ones. I've eaten the 1 million Scoville unit, and I tanked it. So like, I can handle spicy. I ate hot chip. Hot chip boiled my guts. That was the problem with hot chip. It wasn't the spiciness. It was the guts. I felt like it was like searing the inside of my bowels. Anyway, long story short, as a white man, you are in a position of power and privilege in this society. If somebody says something like, oh, I don't know if white people can handle this, you're not supposed to be offended. That's a joke. That's funny. Because white people, quite frankly, we have underspiced food. Nobody ever said French food was spicy. So they're not wrong. So just get over it. Be chill. Be cool for a change. Nobody was like, my bangers and mash are really spicy today.
Investors gathering together to use their wealth and power to try to defeat a democratically elected mayoral candidate.
Spicy food reaction from a Japanese person? Okay, no.
Ran on a radical platform of free buses and rent control.
On June 24th, let's get some more free transit.
I think a lot of us are inadvertently ignoring why we should be taking conspiracy theories more seriously. But when we laugh at folks who believe that the Titanic didn't really sink but was swapped out for another ship for an insurance scam, we're ignoring the much more important truth at the heart of the current wave.
Mike, what is the name of the wing spot? I'm not telling you. I am not telling you. As a therapist / shrink, you are extremely good at explaining it succinctly. It's like you said, when you talk about a subject someone is an expert in or is at least schooled and versed in, they will see you know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm experiencing that right now. I don't go to therapy. Therapy wouldn't work on me. And I don't mean that as like, I mean that as an insult for myself. I am too autistic and narcissistic and analytical for therapy to work on me. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on me because it's like when you watch The Sopranos and they're like giving therapy to a sociopath, you know, or at the end of the show, spoilers, the therapist is like, I shouldn't have done that. I was just giving him rationalizations and helping him, you know, do more harm on people. That's how therapy is for me. I'm very treatment resistant. In fact, I did go to therapy once. I went to therapy once and I was talking to the therapist, and you know what happened? They were a lib, and we just started talking about politics. And because I said, oh, they're like, oh, what do you do? And I was like talking about that, and we just started talking about politics, and they wanted to like, they were like debating me on shit and like going, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Was it therapy? So that's a bad therapist? Yes, I know. It is a bad one. I had a therapist debate me about my autism diagnosis before. Oh, no. Therapy can 100% work. Here's the thing about therapy. I feel like therapy should be results-oriented. And what I mean by that is, when you go to therapy, you should be going into therapy with a goal in mind. Like, I want to learn how to handle this aspect that is giving me distress and build, like, coping mechanisms and have, like, measurable progress. I don't just want to have a paid friend that I go rant at. I rant at my friends and my family members. You know, the people that are biased in my family. I don't want to like pay someone just to rant at them. I want to have it be results oriented and about building up, as I said before, there's like coping mechanisms and strategies to handle certain things that are challenging me in my life. I don't currently have anything like that where I need help. If I felt like I did, I would go to therapy. A therapist is great if you're ranting at friends and family or affecting your mental health. True, it doesn't affect my mental health. As a psychologist, you're 100% right. Oh, okay. Well, the problem is like, I sometimes feel like it's grandiose narcissism for me to be like, yeah, I'm self-actualized and I don't feel anxiety often. And, you know, I don't feel any kind of body dysmorphia. Like when I say stuff like that, I feel like a lot of people think you're lying or you're like fucking with them and they get pissed off. So I don't really know how to explain it. It's like happy people don't post about it on social media. You know what I mean? It's like healthy. I mean, I've got some narcissistic tendencies, but I keep myself in check. You know what I mean? Like I understand that I have some grandiosity about me, so I keep myself in check. But it's also kind of useful for me because it gives me the confidence to do my streams and have my strong political takes because I have that confidence. But like, you know, I keep myself in check. I don't think I'm going to be president or anything. That's not how narcissism works. I said narcissistic traits. I didn't say narcissism. Unlock me. This Hassan Mike Hopecore edit is what is my therapy. And as I always say, doomerism is the final stage of your liberalism.
You can never give up on maintaining revolutionary optimism. You cannot succumb to nihilism.
True.
If you can't find any real reason to stop yourself from succumbing to nihilism, think about your enemies.
Israel is despised by regular people. The only reason why it's getting the support it's getting is because of corruption. The genocide is a sign of their weakness. So they're scrambling while they still have control of the U.S. government to do as much damage as they can.
They want you to be nihilistic. They want you to give up. Let's say you're suicidal. Are you really going to end your life before you experience the end of the Israeli apartheid? Really? Can't do that. You can't surrender. Never kill yourself. We have a job. We have a goal. We have a mission.
You know why I'm not a doomer at all? Because it's already over. Socialism has already won. We are living through the historical process of socialism winning.
You cannot let the apartheid state of Israel outlive you.
Socialism will win. I mean, I need to make more Hopecore edits for TikTok. I've been trying to think about it, but it's like very hard to just do one. I have to like try a lot because it's one of those things where I just came up with an idea for oh my god, I just came up for a great idea for a topic. Yes. By the way, chat, we are 4 hours into the stream and I forgot to shill. If you enjoy this content, Please consider supporting it by subscribing at tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 sub. If you have Amazon Prime, attach it to your Twitch account. You get 1 free sub a month. That's your Twitch Prime sub. It's $2.50 out of Jeff Bezos' pocket that you're putting into mine. That's praxis, baby. You're having Jeff Bezos support the political movement that will make him not a billionaire every time you hit Prime. Billionaires should not exist. We're going to expropriate that wealth, Jeff. We're expropriating that wealth. Will I raid Cat when you end today? No. Never let the apartheid state of Israel outlive you is the most inspiring sentence I've ever heard. So true. I just voted for Adelina. Hell yeah, dude. Good. I mean, she's not that great, but she's not a like Gen Z Kamala grifter. So she'll be fine. We need a poor people didn't vote for Zohran TikTok from you. Oh, it's so wrong. That's wrong though. All right, let's keep going. Let's watch the conspiracy theorists are right.
Conspiracy. And understanding this truth reveals something more insidious about our cultural and political ecosystem, something that's making it harder for all of us to do anything about this crap world that we live in.
Everything is fucked up right now. No one's got job, everybody found out about racism, and disease be going bad.
To put it really simply, everybody knows that things are screwed up, but we struggle to make sense of precisely why that is, which makes it feel impossible to do anything about it, so we end up trapped in a cycle of anger and despair. You know, even when we can identify the bad system, we struggle to understand why anyone allows this stuff to keep happening.
Somebody has to do something.
As Celine Wen writes in an essay about contemporary conspiracy, the prevalence of conspiracy theories reflects a nearly ubiquitous feeling of disenfranchisement and despair. Both left-wing and right-wing paranoics recognize that they can't control their material conditions, but they can at least control the story they tell about them.
We're targeting younger people and middle-aged people who are living in despair.
So rather than changing the world, we're caught competing to see who can tell the more convincing story about why the world is the way it is. It's a little bit like having diarrhea, and then rather than being able to stop the diarrhea, you come up with an increasingly elaborate narrative about how bad Chipotle guac did this to you. Now, luckily for us, contemporary philosophy has a lot to say about this phenomenon. Conspiracy theory, not burrito-based incontinence. Now, in a recent video, I talked about the late Frederick Jameson, who argues that the cultural logic of late capitalism, what he calls postmodernism, produces a set of conditions.
Type train incoming, dangerously close. Please consider supporting the stream by subscribing. If you were gifted a sub this month, pay it forward by paying for your own goddamn sub. You're an adult. You could afford $6. Pay for, if you were gifted a sub and you've been hanging out, you could afford $6 to support somebody who streams 5 days a week minimum for 5 hours a day. You could afford $6. You could do it. And if you can't, call it out and ask for a gifted sub. If you can't, call it out and say, hey, I'm struggling. Could someone gift me a sub? But if you can, motherfuckers, pay for it. You know who you are.
In which we don't have any overarching theory that explains how economic...
Chat, I asked this guy to make a point. Let's see what he did. Easy to say, most of you have told me my failure to literacy, it is literally the only thing you have to confront me. So yes, it is very easy. To be honest, I don't accurately remember the points that I put forward here. I know I might have asked for a lot, but I remember me. And what did I get to this attention? I don't need any translation. He isn't here for the truth. He often called to dox people. That's mainly my point. If I called for doxing people, I'd be banned. All I've done is this, where I look up a person's chats and then I go to their Twitch page, and then maybe I'll search like their Twitter or something. So you said I'm an ideologue. I said, what's the point? And then you have no points. I think you and I both know that you're struggling right now. You're struggling right now. I hope it gets better, man.
Economic, political, and cultural structures are connected. As he sees it, capitalism destroys our ability to think historically. So rather than seeing a line of historical and social
Chad, thank you for the subs.
We're caught in a pure present, constantly focused on the new thing. And this lack of an overarching or totalizing theory creates conditions that are perfect for the growth of conspiracy theories. Jameson writes that conspiracy theory and its garish narrative manifestations must be seen as a degraded attempt to think the impossible totality of the contemporary world system. In other words, conspiracy theory is a crappy version of the thing we should be doing, namely trying to think about the actual structures of the systems shaping our world and our lives. You know, capitalism. So the conspiracy theorists are right, just in the wrong way. But they're ultimately attempting to do something that we should all be doing. I'll talk more about this later, but this is all made especially difficult by the fact that capitalism is structured in such a way that it's incredibly hard to pin down. And it's hard to see a totalizing structure when it's constantly shifting around and hiding itself from you. To use an analogy, trying to think about capitalism as a totalizing structure from within capitalism, sort of like trying to get out of a corn maze while you're on LSD. This is something one of my favorite filmmakers, Adam Curtis, gets into in his recent documentary series, Shifty. Now, in it, Curtis explores the way in which the rise of neoliberal policy and the culture of individualism in the late 20th century created a world without any sort of shared reality. Now, if you haven't seen Curtis' work before, it might be because his films are exclusively available on BBC iPlayer, which sadly you can only access if you are in the UK, which would be devastating if it wasn't for this video's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Now, Surfshark allows me to tell the internet that I am, in fact, currently browsing from my flat outside of London, which then gives me access to BBC iPlayer, so then I can binge Adam Curtis documentaries and bask in the horrors of late capitalism. Using Surfshark opens up a whole new world of shows, films, and documentaries by letting you virtually...
Surfshark VPN chat. I would honestly, and I don't mean this as like too much of an attack, but like I don't trust VPNs. It feels like I just don't trust them.
Travel around the world, and it makes this virtual travel safe with increased security and privacy, which then allows you to keep your online activity encrypted whether you're at home or using your laptop on public today, and overlaps with the theme today. And once you sign up, go watch Shift.
But you could always like you sign up for Michael Burns advertisement so he gets money.
By Adam Curtis, because it overlaps with the themes of this video. But it's not just British filmmakers who are able to capture the dystopian era of conspiracy that we find ourselves in, as there is a young American filmmaker who's been able to capture the inner psyches of modern American conspiracists with stunning clarity. Connor O'Malley.
I'm the human version of Israel, surrounded by enemies and constantly under attack. But things are finally starting to go my way with the election of Donald J. Trump. It's like 9/11 never happened, but Iraq and Afghanistan did. Everything's gonna be fixed. I'm gonna make 5 figures a year. I'm gonna get a wife, and I'm gonna eat chops this thick.
I'm serious, this guy is a genius, and I'm gonna show you how in a second. So today I'm going to explain the underlying philosophy and psychology of modern conspiracy theory, and I'm gonna show you how we're not only getting it wrong, we're getting it wrong in a way that is benefiting those in power. Okay, so let's start with the definition of conspiracy theory.
I love performance artists, but it's like I have to be in the right mood for it. Like sometimes I just hate performance artists, and sometimes I'm like, they're so funny, but I have to be in the mood for it. And he's like top tier. He's top fucking tier.
Can all agree upon, you know? It's an explanation for an event or system which locates the nefarious motives of a secretive group at the heart of that event, often with an explicitly political motivation. And these theories usually offer a way more complex explanation than a more common sense understanding.
Basically, there's rumors speculating online that the Chinese government, you know about Gaia Force?
No.
What if I told you this was actually a document?
The Chinese government figured out how to hack into the Gaia Force, and they are changing the course of the world for power.
It's like how moon landing conspiracists argue that rather than being an achievement of the space program, that the moon landing was a staged television event that just served the ideological purpose of allowing the United States to seem like they were beating the Soviet Union in the space race. Also, you know, say what you will about the Soviet Union, but they did put a woman in space way before we did. But what's more important than this is understanding what the conspiracy theorist is doing when they develop, perpetuate, or just believe in these theories. Okay, so let's talk about what it is that they're doing. The conspiracy theorist develops oversimplified and often paranoid narratives that explain mysterious and unknowable dynamics of economic and political power. Their underlying belief is that there is a coherent and well-ordered world hidden beneath the surface, but that world is obscured and hidden by a cabal of evil elites. And it seems like for many of these conspiracists, there's a belief that exposing those evil elites will undermine and even destroy their power. One way to think about this is that the conspiracist takes the problem of why and replaces it with a what, which means that rather than really analyzing the cause of the phenomenon, they get hung up on a what or a who that's doing the thing. And this just leaves them with a shortcut where they get to say this person or this group of people are doing a thing rather than understanding the systems and structures at play. You know, basically, if the problem is just some guys doing some stuff, you convince yourself that the solution is also some guys doing some stuff. So instead of focusing on a structure that demands corruption in the name of profit, you know, a party whose leadership continues to serve the interest of Wall Street and billionaire donors, the conspiracist constructs a narrative in which the Democratic Party is actually a PDF file type of cult that uses the blood of children to fuel their satanic orgies.
But that's true though.
As someone who is...
At least it's true about Bill and Hillary Clinton.
A child molester, and he kidnaps children.
Okay, this is fucking... Dude, this is fucking disgusting. Like, these parents, CPS for these parents, like, what the fuck is this? This is gross, man.
Does horrible things to them, just like Hillary Clinton and Obama, who made the virus.
Okay, to better understand this, let's talk about the Scorsese of guys who went bankrupt because of OnlyFans, Connor O'Malley. One of his recent videos, Pipe Rock Theory, is a masterpiece of social satire. It follows a young man named Kevin Podcast who's trying to uncover the truth behind the pipe rocks he's discovered at his local park. Like all modern conspiracists, Kevin starts out on a podcast with one of his bros. And when he's trying to solve one conspiracy, he runs into a couple of guys that are trying to solve another conspiracy.
What are you doing here?
What?
What are you doing here? Hey.
And it's interesting that after they realize Kevin is right, they quickly unify and join forces because the conspiracist psychologically seems always ready to get on board with the next conspiracy or the bigger and better conspiracy.
So good, dude.
Listen to me! Listen to me!
We need to stop this shit.
Now soon, their investigation about pipe rocks leads them to a mansion in North Hollywood where Tom Cruise is leading the charge. And, you know, here we get our cabal of elites. We get Joe Biden, Bono, and Netflix's own Barack Obama. And I'm sure you can see where this is going. Eventually, Santa Claus shows up because the North Pole Defense Force is working with Tom Cruise and the Church of Scientology.
This is the North Pole Defense Team. I'm Santa Claus.
And eventually, Kevin Podcast is given the Presidential Medal of Podcast Informativeness by Donald Trump.
Nobody's ever done it like him. He's a warrior in every way, and we appreciate you being here.
Again, showing that these days, there's a pretty clear line from
so good,
conspiracy podcast to White House.
I want to thank the Nelk Boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, Bustin' with the Boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan.
And one thing that's interesting is that because Kevin ends up being right at every step of the way, we get to see the full reality of what the conspiracist actually believes to be true. You know, of course, pipe rocks suck up the energy of children and funnel them to a house in North Hollywood where Tom Cruise, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Protestant singer Bono are all hanging out. And it's also important to note, Kevin Podcast isn't a bad guy. You know, for Christ's sake, he's making an album of non-PDF file R. Kelly covers.
I believe I can fly.
Something the world really wants. But Kevin is clearly seeking a totalizing explanation for all the weird aspects of society. You know, he's a seemingly downwardly mobile white guy who knows that some external system is making his life suck, and he thinks that he has the ability to uncover what's really going on.
Inside of the rocks, there's pipes making all these sounds. I'm feeling like so tired by this rock.
And dude, what is the opposite of a rock? Pipes. And it's like, why are they putting them together? This is unnatural.
But these days, conspiracy theory isn't just attractive to the Kevin Podcast of the world. You know, the yoga moms and the Christian bros and the Pornhub power users are all getting in on the action. Let me know which one you are. If you had to identify as either a yoga mom, a Christian bro, or a Pornhub power user, let me know who you are. I would guess that if we took a vote, 70% of you would be Pornhub power users, 25% would be Christian bros, and 5 would be yoga moms. Now, that's because an increasingly chaotic social and economic reality is making it harder for all types of folks to understand what's going on and figure out what they can do to make things better. You know, we're constantly sold solutions to all the ongoing crises and problems by big boy leaders in politics and tech, but nothing seems to
My favorite thing about this shit is this is the soy right. This is the soy right that Asmongold loves. Is Peter Thiel. Look at this fucking guy. He was asked if he wants humanity to survive, and he wouldn't answer the fucking question. I had to like prod him to get him to say yes. These are the pedophiles that are allied with Donald Trump. And that's why so many conservatives are lolicon enjoyers, you know? Like that Nux guy is a good example of it, right? Tectone. Tectone is, gotcha game. I mean, yikes.
Be getting any better.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know.
I mean, guys, we are approaching the 20-year anniversary of the 2008 financial crash and the Occupy movement, and we're still just here. So when official narratives don't help you make sense of the world, you might be tempted to fall for some pretty weird shit. Now, in her recent book, Doppelganger, Naomi Klein gets into this and writes that conspiracy theorists get the facts wrong, but often get the feelings right, meaning that they're right to feel like the world doesn't make sense. Like nefarious forces are making life increasingly hard for normal people, but they get the facts wrong when they rely on overly complex and conspiratorial narratives to make sense of things. She explores this in the book by contesting her own work, which is famously critical of neoliberalism and capitalism, with her doppelganger, Naomi Wolf, whose own political skepticism led her to go full-on conspiracy theorist in recent years. They're both Naomis using research and writing to try to make sense of the world, and while Klein locates the root problem in neoliberal capitalism, Wolf sees it in like 5G, COVID vaccines, things of that nature. Now, in a recent essay on Frederick Jameson, philosopher Frank Ruda comes to some similar conclusions about the reasonable side of conspiracy theories. He writes that conspiracy theories are problematic manifestations of a rational demand, a demand of reason. This demand is a demand for orientation in a world that no longer allows for any, since the constitutive principles of its organization have become obscured. Ironically, conspiracy theories are the wrong form of doing the right and necessary thing. Similar to Klein's argument, Ruda thinks that the conspiracist is doing the right thing in the wrong way. And that right thing is demanding a rational explanation for why the world is the way it is. One that relies...
Okay, Chad, I have to distract you from something I just saw pop on my feed, which is Sal Albanese, 2019 Charter Commissioner, 15-year New York City Council member, just tweeted, "The real reason I'm a fan of Zohran Mamdani. Months ago was invited by an S-Islander who was hosting candidates on a backyard platform. While Z was speaking, I leaned back, my 215-pound wide body splintered the plastic chair to bits and hit ground. Z stopped speaking and leaped off to help me up." Retail politics. Retail politics. Of course not. There are many important reasons why he would make a good mayor, but there are things you can glean about about people by their everyday interactions. For example, I stopped going to dinner with folks who are abusive to waiters. It tells me something about them. Average American voter. Average American voter. Average American voter. Thank you, Sal. Thank you, Sal, for your support.
On reason rather than paranoia or fantasy. Now, in this way, the conspiracist starts from a philosophical point of view. They're skeptical of dominant narratives in society, and they want to uncover the truth of the system, to leave the cave, so to speak. But they fail to go about this process by using a critical and philosophical method. To stick with Plato's analogy of the cave, rather than leaving the cave, these folks are enticed by even weirder and more enticing shadows on the walls. In other words, rather than passing through an ordeal that reorients their understanding, they're exchanging the main set of shadows and ideological constructs for another weirder set of shadows. But they're still just trapped in a cave of representations. Now, at this point, some of you might be thinking, is being a conspiracy theorist really that different from being a leftist who sees capitalism as the evil force behind every bad and exploitative social phenomena? Is Kevin Podcast really that different from your friend that read Marx and Adorno in grad school and hasn't shut up about it for 15 years?
You've done the reading, we talked about it. What more do you expect from a reading group?
Well, according to French philosopher and anthropologist Bruno Latour, conspiracy and critical theory actually have a lot in common. He writes that in both cases, you have to learn to become suspicious of everything people say because they live in the thralls of a complete illusion. Then, after disbelief is struck and an explanation is requested for what is really going on, in both cases, again, it is the same appeal to powerful agents hidden in the dark, acting always consistently, continuously, relentlessly.
So, by the way, though, there are people doing that. We just have to analyze the reality more accurately and realize that it's a class war. It is a class war between the capitalist class and the proletariat, and they'll tell you they are fighting a class war. They're not shy.
As he sees it, both types of theorists encourage us to look beneath the surface to see what's really going on. You know, the only difference is that one group listens to TrueAnon and the other group listens to Joe Rogan. But according to philosopher Alenka Zupančič, this critique doesn't hold, as it too quickly conflates what critical theory does with how conspiracy theory operates. Now, she writes that, however, while critical theory examines the means and ways in which, for instance, the manufacturing of consent takes place, a conspiracy theory immediately jumps to what is behind, to hidden depths, to another reality. It never really deals with critical analysis of facts and of reality in their inner structure. Again, we can see the analogy with Plato's cave right here. It's not that the conspiracist leaves the cave for a higher form of critical understanding. They just get caught up in another set of representations. So when conspiracy theory jumps to a compelling narrative that explains some aspect of reality, it doesn't actually analyze how we get there. Again, I talked about this before. They're more interested in a what than a why. I mean, think back to pipe rock theory, right? It's always a person online, and then a thing that you find, and then it's Tom Cruise, and then it's Protestant singer Bono, and then it's Santa Claus. You know, there's always these what's behind everything, and not a structure or a system that explains it. And this is all in opposition to critical theory, or philosophical thought more generally, which works to understand the logical structures at the core of a given event or phenomena. Zupančič goes on to write that the basic assumption of any critical theory worthy of its name is that precisely as false, these facts are extremely relevant for the analysis and have to be taken and examined seriously. So even if the conspiracist gets caught up on a particular what, we can still ask why and take that why pretty seriously. Now, I wanted to take that little detour as I think it is important to make clear that taking a critical and philosophical approach to society is distinct from conspiracy theory. I think
one of the things that's really funny is, can you imagine any of these right-wingers actually watching this video? I would love to imagine Ethan Klein or Ashman Cold watching this. I'm just having so much fun imagining that.
Sometimes these positions get way too close. You know, there's folks on the internet especially who will use and I think abuse philosophical language to appeal to a conspiratorial urge. And it's not good. I don't like it. You know, that's that shit I don't like. Okay, I think now we better understand precisely what the conspiracist is doing, but we can still ask, what can we learn from this? Okay, so let's get back to Frederick Jameson, who shows us not only what the conspiracist is trying to do, but argues that in a sense, it's what we should all be trying to do. Also, a reminder, if you're interested in Frederick Jameson, I am running a book club on his work over on my Patreon. It just started up, so you can definitely catch up. There's a link in the description. I would love to have you. Now, according to Jameson, conspiracy is the poor person's cognitive mapping in the postmodern age. It is the degraded figure of the total logic of late capital, a desperate attempt to represent the latter's system whose failure is marked by its slippage into sheer theme and content. Now, cognitive mapping describes a spatial analysis that shows the totality of class relations on a global scale. Jameson thinks the ability to cognitively map is an integral part of any socialist political project, and that the inability to carry out this project of mapping can be crippling to political experience. And you know, we see this inability in the conspiracy-fueled characters in O'Malley's videos, where the lack of an ability to actually see class relations leads to this.
Chug it! Little hot sauce.
Yeah. So in response to this culture of postmodern spectacle and Windex chugging, Jameson thinks we need to reinvent an aesthetic of cognitive mapping, a pedagogical political culture which seeks to endow the individual subject with some new heightened sense of its place in the global system. Basically, it's a way of understanding ourselves not as atomized individuals, but as part of a larger structure. And again, I said this earlier in the video, one of the main points here is that the conspiracist over-relies on individual analysis and isn't able to think in structural terms. But like a pirate trying to keep you from finding his treasure, capitalism reproduces itself in a way that is intentionally disorienting. According to Ruda, it de-skills all of us with regard to our cognitive mapping abilities. Now, he writes that insisting on the possibility of a cognitive map in times of its impossibility, in times in which the very idea of a map of global capitalism has been invalidated by the tectonic shifts in its political economy, meant for Jameson to defend the idea that despite its apparent complexity and seeming irrepresentability, a new orientation can be achieved. I know that one was a lot. You know, Jameson Book Club could do that. I'm just saying. So as he reads Jameson, the seeming impossibility of a contemporary cognitive map shouldn't stop us from trying to find a new orientation from which we can see what's truly going on and then try to figure out how to act accordingly. One thing we can take from all of this is that by focusing too much of our energy on critiquing the individual actions of conspiracists, we don't get any closer to understanding the systemic issues that lead to conspiracism in the first place. This is why Naomi Klein thinks that the conspiracist is just focusing on the wrong C word. Share your favorite C words in the comments. She writes that the word for the system driving those feelings starts with C, but if no one ever taught you how capitalism works, then it's easy to see how you might confuse it with another C word: conspiracy. Now, Klein also notes that there's a parallel between the conspiracist and the neoliberal because they both see the world primarily through the lens of individual actions and not systems of economic and political power. You know, while the conspiracist might think that George Soros is the only one who's making life bad, the neoliberal might think that like Kamala Harris or Mayor Pete is the only one that can fix it. But when we shift our focus to the more useful C word, capitalism, we're able to see that financial crises, energy shortages, and wars are being manipulated by the powerful in ways that harm society. According to Klein, this does not make you a conspiracy theorist, it makes you a serious observer of politics and history. Jameson and Klein both believe that the antidote to conspiracy isn't just debunking or fact-checking. It's analyzing society such that we can see how power functions under the capitalist system. So does this mean the Kevin podcast needs to go into debt getting a master's degree in critical theory? Not necessarily. But a mistake that conspiracy theorists like Kevin often make is focusing on the weirdness of individuals to the extent that it makes them unable to criticize systems. You know, this is why for Jameson and other philosophers inspired by Marx's dialectical method, Marxism offers a logical system that can explain the otherwise mysterious forces that dominate modern society. You know, even if you are skeptical of Marxism, hopefully you can at least see how a logical system like this allows us to analyze systems of power without devolving into conspiracy. And because capitalism works so hard to make itself unknowable,
people don't even understand basic historical facts. This is like a big problem with teaching critical theory or teaching people to learn, is they're not even aware of basic historical facts. Like if I said the Civil War and Reconstruction, I've already eliminated 75% of people, like right off the bat. So how can I have an intelligent conversation with people if I just state something that is an important historical fact for why our country exists the way it is, and they're just completely ignorant, right? Like I can't even begin to have conversations. And most people have no ideology. I'd say around 10% of people or less have any ideology, not socialist ideology, any ideology. At most, people have vibes and opinions about individuals, but they don't have an ideology.
We can't really blame the Kevin podcast of the world for their various pipe rock theories, as they're living in a system that hides its own structure while working to marginalize perspectives that give us a totalizing critique. It's sort of like how the most power-hungry totalitarian monsters in society are the ones fighting to make sure that things like Marxism and critical theory aren't allowed to be taught at schools and universities anymore. You know, as God forbid, we're able to make a cognitive map of our society.
Also, hopefully parents are rethinking even the idea of dropping their kids off at a public school.
This is why Ruda says that the system intentionally de-skills us from being able to carry out this sort of analysis. They don't want you to think. this is real, you know? Maybe this is me being conspiratorial. But like, they don't want us to think, and they don't want us to have the critical tools to think, because then we could see the bullshit, guys. They don't want us to see the bullshit. Okay, this might be a hot take, but I think that this all means we should be way more empathetic to some of the folks who are falling for these batshit crazy conspiracy theories. Or, as Nguyen writes, we might need to approach conspiracy theories empathetically, as a reflection of someone's political anxieties and fears. And we can save our ruthless critical energy for the folks in power who are exploiting the folks who fall for conspiracies, and then just use that to continue building their own power. And this is why Zupančič argues that the real conspiracy theorists that we need to worry about are the elites running society. You know, they know that the planet is dying and that the economy is unsustainable, but they keep pushing.
God, I need to listen to this for a second.
Correct. That's correct.
About the CPS? I don't know. Maybe. Sure. Okay.
Yes. Oh, that's the wrong one. Fuck.
Forward a false narrative that promises to hold it all together, even as we're just standing around watching it all fall apart. Klein makes a similar point, arguing that our liberal democratic societies are characterized by unmasked plutocracy. There's no secret to reveal. Instead of the Illuminati, we have the attendees of the annual.
This is it, chat. I wanted this clip. Sorry.
Harassment, and you pulled it up on your stream.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say that?
Like random anonymous
Did I
Redditors?
say that? I said they're primary responsible for harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So I don't know.
Hey, Majority Report. Thanks for the raid. Sorry, I was just looking up for a clip of Ethan Klein. I want you guys to have that clip. This is a clip we need to have ready. I made fun of Ethan Klein today, and all the lolicon pedophiles jumped to his aid because he Instagrammed about it. Sorry, chat. Hey, Raiders. We're talking about conspiracy theorists are right, but in the wrong way. And, you know, we're talking about postmodern philosophic interpretations and critical theory. And then we're going to watch a Zohran Mamdani speech at the UAW. But before we do that, we're going to do this real quick.
So I don't know.
Has a difference in opinion in the way that you've presented yourself throughout this conflict.
Please,
and if
let
you
me just talk. This is, you
listen to me.
So I'm not muted. So hold on, harassment, and you pulled it up on your stream.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say that?
Like random anonymous
Did I
Redditors?
say that? I said they're primary responsible for harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So I don't know.
And he still tries to be like, they did CPS. He actually said Denims did that. He said Denims did it. All right, let's finish this video, chat.
Davos conference, where the politicians and capitalists most responsible for climate change and capitalist extraction pretend to be our heroes, solving the world's hardest problems for the greater good. Our world might be more corrupt than the conspiracy theorists realize. In an essay on Klein's book, Nico Baumbach writes that anti-establishment politics, without a critique of capitalism or some guiding egalitarian principle, accounts for the lure of Trumpism and conspiracism and will remain seductive as long as mainstream liberalism takes the side of the establishment in response, and there is no readily available left alternative. And you know, a lot of us might think of ourselves as too smart for conspiracies or too clever to fall for this sort of stuff. But Zupančič points out that that too can be a bit of a risk. She brings this up via an anecdote that's been used by Slavoj Žižek. It's about a man who tragically loses his wife, but he seems oddly calm when he talks about her to his friends, as long as he's holding his pet hamster. But after a couple of years, that hamster dies, and then he absolutely loses it. He's overwhelmed by the trauma of losing his wife. You know, in psychoanalytic terms, the hamster was this object that he could focus on to keep him from the tragedy and trauma of reality. Zupančič brings up this anecdote in the context of conspiracy theory to argue that it is the knowledge itself that is our hamster today, enabling us to supposedly accept the reality that this knowledge refers to. And when she says knowledge here, she basically just means our knowledge of how things really are. You know, our clever analysis of what the world is really like. And as she sees it, we end up being more concerned with being correct and not being deceived than we are with fully acknowledging the traumatic aspects of our reality.
Everybody's sitting around not doing fucking shit, and meanwhile the markets are in turmoil. That's why I come down here, Wall Street, and I'm handing out free homemade Powerade to all the stockbrokers.
So we might feel good about ourselves because, of course, we know the Protestant singer Bono isn't part of a satanic cult with Netflix Obama. And we, of course, know that actually it's capitalism that's making things so bad. Dude. And, you know, we read the right books and we watch the right YouTube videos and all that. But maybe so what? You know, if that knowledge is just the hamster that we hold on to avoid facing the trauma of reality, then maybe we're kind of just helping maintain the status quo.
Damn, that's right. That's why you need to get involved. Get out on the fucking streets. Learn how to fire a gun. I know how to shoot a gun. If called upon, I could fire a gun very quickly. That is assuming you're not depressive, I want you to get out and start getting involved in your community and get involved now.
And helping ourselves stop from freaking out. To put this a little bit differently, if knowledge isn't facilitating action, then it might just be a useful narrative, not that different from that of the conspiracists. You know, calling things fascist doesn't stop fascism. Describing the horrors of capitalism doesn't make the system scared. You know, to risk idealism here, we don't want to understand the system to understand the system. We want to understand the system to figure out how to change the world. And if you want to think more about this stuff, please do come join me over on Patreon, where we have a Frederick Jameson reading group. And thanks so much to all of the patrons. In my last video, I mentioned that my goal is to get to 2,000 paid patrons by the end of this year to make this channel and my team in this community a sustainable thing. And whoa, you guys showed up. We're getting close. We already doubled the numbers.
Michael
so I really
Burns 420.
appreciate that. There's a link in the description. You can head over there
Ethical
if you want. And just a reminder, I
reacts.
stream every Wednesday, noon Pacific time from this channel. I always post the unlisted link on Patreon. And if you're not already subscribed to my second channel, Sideburns, it's where I'm posting clips from streams, shorter stuff, reaction things, stuff that's a little more fun. You can go subscribe to that. I would appreciate it. In the meantime, remember that the opposite of a rock is pipes.
Fuck, he's so cool. We love Michael Burns, don't we, chat? He's so fucking cool, man. We love him. And let us watch UAW Zohran rally at our friends over at the Status Coup.
Running a campaign to make the most expensive city in the United States of America affordable for each and every New Yorker. And as someone who understands that we have to invest in the people that stitch that fabric of our city every single day.
Freeze the rent! Freeze the rent! Freeze the rent! All right! Freeze the rent!
Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup.
This is Ashley with Status Coup.
On the ground.
In Philadelphia.
Flint, Michigan. East Palestine, Ohio. Please support the leading independent news outlet on the ground.
Covering what the corporate media covers up.
This man is a fighter for a new kind of politics. A politics that we all share, and that's why we endorsed him as the first union to endorse him for mayor. UAW family, I pass the mic to our next New York City mayor, Assembly Member Zohran Mamdani.
It is such a pleasure to be here with you today. We know, so many of us, both those that are here and those that call this city home, that we are facing an authoritarian administration in Washington, D.C. We are facing a president who is seeking to attack the very fabric of this city. And in a moment like that, we have to use every single tool at our disposal to protect this city, to protect its people. And I look at all of you as the people on the front lines of that protection. You are the people that keep New Yorkers in their homes. You are the people that keep families together. And so it is incumbent upon every single one of us to stand with you so that you can continue to afford to do this work. And I want to ask, you have a sign, if you could just come up here for a moment. I want to just show everyone this sign. My clients deserve a lawyer who can afford groceries. My clients deserve a lawyer who can pay rent. This is what we are talking about. Because for too long, we have asked people to engage in public service at the expense of themselves. We have asked ourselves questions that we all know the answers to. Why are we struggling to attract new applications? Why are we struggling to retain the existing workforce? Because this is not work that is paying people enough to stay in this city. And so I stand here before you as someone who is running a campaign to make the most expensive city in the United States of America affordable for each and every New Yorker. And as someone who understands that we have to invest in the people that stitch that fabric of our city every single day. And while I will tell you in all sincerity, I do not have great hopes for Eric Adams, what I am excited by every single moment is the fact that we together are building a new kind of politics. Where workers do not have to beg for what they deserve. And it is an honor to stand here alongside UAW, a union that has long sought to make the principled possible, and to stand here alongside elected officials at every single level of government who have been your champions, be it in the city council, be it in the state assembly, be it in the state senate, be it the attorney general of the state of New York. And like them, I will be your champion, and like them, I will see the work that you do for what it is worth. Thank you so much.
Steve, take screenshots and send it to me.
Can we get a freeze the rent chant? Freeze the rent! 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 All right. Freeze the rent!
Support this critic. And chat, yesterday, I was going to send this to Hassan. I don't know if you guys heard it, but the American Federation of Musicians, Local 802, endorsed Zohran with a rendition of Solidarity Forever. See it, folks. Solidarity Forever. Very left-wing vibes here at the press conference for the American Federation of Musicians Local 802 endorsement of Zohran Mamdani. Union members play in Mamdani with a rendition of Solidarity Forever. I would call those union vibes more than lefty vibes. It's a trade union song from the early 1900s. Liberals, man. Liberals, man. And the Republican Party has unanimously voted to block the release of the Epstein files.
On this vote, the yeas are 211, the nays are 210. The previous question is ordered. The question is on adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
Republicans unanimously voted to block the release of the Epstein files. Well, chat, I have some stuff I need to do, and we are about that time. Thank you for all the support. I really appreciate all of you. I'm going to send you over to the single best VTuber on the entire website, which is VO, who is playing Peak, a game about climbing. And we started from the bottom, and now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. Thank you, everybody, for all the support. Thank you for showing up day in and day out. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Stay safe out there. Solidarity forever, my friends. And don't forget, Check out all the videos. Check out all the links. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. And I'll probably be posting a TikTok later today. So make sure you're following that. All right, everybody. Stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.